today.
Well,
let's talk about today.
If you're at a national state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
Is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her in the registration booth with the girl.
Just this ever-evolving story.
What is going on, everybody? Mike Idle here with Beer Money Pulling Team live from Bevier, Missouri, and flying solo tonight. It was a big weekend for the Full Pull Live crew as well as the Beer Money Pulling Team crew down in Hammond, Louisiana. They are making their way back all the way up to Wisconsin. Not going to make it back in time for the show, but don't worry. We have a great show lined up for you, including a review of that pull in Louisiana. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, go back on Full Pull Live. If you're not subscribed to that, I really recommend you do so. That was a sweet little show in Southern Louisiana. Go check out the blog on Beer Money Pulling Team. Give it a look. Probably the best two-wheel drive truck class I've ever seen. So they're making their way back from that. So you're stuck flying solo with Mike Idle tonight. Really fun show. I'm really excited about it. Let's do a quick hit on what we have lined up and in store for you guys tonight. Like always, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Tell us what you want to talk about in the world of truck and tractor pulling, and we will make that happen. 7:30 to 8 o'clock slot. You know we're always bringing those guests on here. We're continuing with our theme of the Pullers Championship, but we're going to go way beyond that tonight because this is a team that I've been a fan of for a long, long time, and I cannot wait to talk to them about days of the past in pulling and the direction the sport is going in the future. Of course, I'm talking about Dale and Elmer Haug, the Temptation cases, the true JI cases out of Centralia, Kansas. They're going to be out with that. At 8 o'clock, we're going to go way out west where we're going to continue our discussion with the Cal Poly students. They're going to be talking about the pull they're going to be putting on April 13th. Tractor Pull Club. It's a unique concept, entirely ran by the students. The pull is entirely ran by the students. They're going to tell us what it takes to make one of those happen. 8:15, Charlie Ciolino is going to come on here. He's going to talk to us about that awesome pull that he put on in Hammond, Louisiana. We're going to break down the results. We're going to talk stories. 8:30, Matt Larsen, he's coming back on. He's going to tell us about the Midwest Spring Super Pull garden and mini rod tractors up there in Wisconsin. It's a big deal. That's a big, big pull that they have up there. 8:45, we're kicking it old school, pulling through the past as I continue to show you guys that vintage photo collection of mine. And like always, if you have vintage pulling photos that you want shared with the world, reach out to us at Beer Money Pulling Team. We'll track down the stories behind them and gladly share those with you. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going back out west again, Massetti and Friends. Brian Massetti is going to host that for you where he's got a puller. Jared Britschke, I believe is how you say his name, is going to talk to us about that MLM Awesome Motorsports, that Major League Motorsports out there. And always the infamous and wonderful and awesome, Facebook Marketplace game. You're going to want to see what's going down for that. First comment of the night, and the boss man's checking in. He says he's in the car. Is the car driving itself? That's what the world wants to know. He's got one of those Teslas. They drive themselves. We don't want to talk about Teslas. We want to talk about case horsepower. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Dale and Elmer Haug of Centralia, Kansas, the Temptation Pulling Team. Gentlemen, I'll allow you to introduce yourselves. That way the audience knows who is who. And just thanks for coming on and let us know how things are going tonight.
I'm Dale Haug, youngest of the crew of Temptation Pulling Team, or as far as the ones that are driving.
I'm Elmer, dad to all these guys, kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've been around the sport of truck and tractor pulling, in the past 40 years, just casually fans, you've probably heard the name Elmer Haug. I'm just going to put that out there. You guys have had a lot of success, and you've been around this sport for quite some time. As a matter of fact, before the show started, we were kind of going down memory lane and chatting about some old tractors and some old pulls. Congratulations on the Pullers Championship. That's the next big step. Let's start off with the future. We'll get to the past, but let's start with the future. One tractor got voted in. One tractor was an automatic bid. How's it feel to have both Temptations headed out to Nashville, Illinois to be pulling May 16th and 17th?
Go ahead.
Well, it should be a enjoyable deal. We had a lot of fun out there last year. We enjoyed it, and we'll see what we can do again this year.
So it looks like the big Temptation, it was a top 3 finisher. It was kind of an at-large bid. It got an automatic invite based on its positioning. Elmer, I assume you're going to be driving the big one. Is that correct?
No, Dale drive the big one, and I always drive the little one.
Okay, so you drive the little Temptation. Well, then let's stick with the little one. It got voted in. It was a fan vote. Is that just as special to know the fans have your back, or would you rather get the invite vote knowing that you'd qualified up at the top of the pack?
Oh, I think it's important to hear from all the fans, and if they want me to be there, suits me.
No bad way to go pulling, right? So I had it backwards. So Dale, you drive the big Temptation.
Yeah,
Tell us about your vehicle and how it compares to little Temptation, and then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit of history. That big one's kind of changed colors over the years. Kind of just give us the lowdown on the big Temptation, everything we need to know about it.
Yeah, Brian and I both trade back and forth, and then like the little tractor, my other brother Rodney will jump in there and drive it. So just so we got the basis there. The big tractors, the name's been different colors and different sheet metal. The real early days, it would have been white with different graphics, and then a couple different graphics jobs on it. And then since we went to lightweight with the 1370 or 1270 style sheet metal, the Desert Sunset, this chassis and tractor has always been this color here.
So the big Temptation, whichever one has been monikered as big, be it, the white sheet metal, which I'll bring a picture up of that in just a second, or this beautiful cream sheet metal that it's got on it. It originally was a 7500 or a heavy super. Is that right? Is that where it lived? And Little Temptation was always a light super, or where did they kind of fall, in their original forms? Years
and years ago, before I was even in the driver's seat, we had 2 tractors. Pulling like with NK and Bush Association, and the one tractor had the great big wide fenders on it and ran the heavier classes, and then the other tractor was running some lighter classes, and I'm talking 30 years ago. Well, when we come back out with the second tractor 2022 or 21, or not 21, 2001, when we come back out with the second tractor, we really didn't want to do Temptation 2 or something like that. So we just went back to big and little Temptation, and it just sounds good instead of trying to label it something else.
Let's jump back over here to Elmer. Do you have one that you kind of consider your bread and butter? Is little kind of your one, or back in the day, were you just as comfortable on either of them?
Well, I've always driven the little tractor off and on back when the big tractor was a white tractor, white colored tractor. I drove it a few times, but this yellow one, I've never driven it. That's been the boys' toy. And the black one's always been my deal all the way from beginning on. We started out years and years ago. It wasn't Little Temptation. It was a weekend Temptation.
Okay.
And then when we decided to build the second one, we dropped the weekend and put big on the other one and little on the black one. Well, it was a white tractor yet then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's took a lot of years to get it up to where we are now.
I'm going to throw those pictures up here again. And I kind of remember, I kind of stepped away from pulling a little bit when I went to college and tried to focus on, career goals and whatnot, which I don't know if that was successful, but I know that kind of when I came back, there was kind of a renaissance or a revolution, and the tractors had gotten complete facelifts. And I want to put some pictures up here. And fans, if you haven't seen them, like if you go to a pull, walk the pits, check them out. But if you have 5 minutes and you can only stop at one trailer, I really would encourage you to stop by the Haugs and take a look at these, because when these things came back out, the paint job on them and the metal that reflects, the original form of the cases. And of course, the eagles on the side, which you can see that all the way back on the steam engines in the days of J.I. Case. Do you get fans coming by and looking at these things that can't wait to take a picture? Or do you get old school diehard Case guys? What's their impression when they come and check this stuff out? You guys have to be a fan favorite out in the pits.
Well, the Desert Sunset color on the big one, when we came out with it, we had many, many fans would come up and say that, yeah, I can't believe that you put the old original Case color on this tractor. And this happened many times. But, and the black tractor, it's been black for a lot of years, and used to have some stripes on the side, and then we went to the big eagle on the side, and both of those combinations was very interesting.
I'm going to ask a question that, and if you want to reach through the monitor and slap me because the answer is so obvious, you have my permission to, but just how loyal are you guys to the brand of Case? I mean, that's kind of any announcer. I mean, that's announcer 101. When they hand you a microphone and you're talking about the Haugs, you mention, the collection you guys have in Centralia, and you just talk about the brand and what it means to you guys.
Well, Elmer, when we were talking about trying to get a better set of aluminum heads at one time and having another builder build some for us, that was back when one builder was getting a better reputation, or had his name starting to get out there, that he supposedly had a head far superior over to others. Well, it come to the point that it was going to be not cost effective to have a Case head built, because he was too scared that's the only one he was ever going to sell. So he goes, well, I'll need another $20,000 or $30,000 on top of the international head. So Elmer come to us and said, he goes, why don't we build an international engine? I said, you can go pulling by yourself.
Elmer, you made this suggestion, and then Dale said, no way, not going to happen.
And Case, for me, I started out as a little guy. Case tractors Dad had, and that's where I started, and that's where I stayed. And I don't know why I would ever want to go in any other direction.
But the whole idea of the international engine was more available parts, building parts. Mm-hmm. And I knew where he was coming from on that. So did Brian. Brian was on boat with me too. I mean, we wanted to stay Case. It's a hard decision, because there is more parts available, and maybe some other technology available with the international side of stuff.
And without hitting this too hard on the head, and I hope fans are hearing us what we're saying here, because a lot of days here in 2025, there's a lot of sheet metal out there, and we love it. I'm all about it. Let's pay homage to any brand and whatever. But I hope everyone heard that they said, let's put an international motor in it. And the response was absolutely not. So this isn't just sheet metal you're looking at, guys. These guys are a Case team. And does it go all the way back? Really quick, we'll hit this comment. Here's a name. We're talking old school pullers beforehand. Randy Proctor says hello to Elmer and Dale. I'm sure that's a name that rings true to you guys. I'm sure you've pulled against the Proctors many times, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Randy says, what's your thoughts concerning the new generation interested in the skilled workmanship and such? What's your thoughts on pulling moving forward? Randy Barker wants to know.
That's a deep question for anybody to try to answer, because for anybody, the smaller associations need to thrive to keep the interest for people later in life when they can afford to be able to jump into a bigger association or a higher dollar area. Poland's going to take a big change, I think, in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
And I don't know which direction it's going to go, but I think it's going to be drastic one way or the other. It might come to the point. It might come to the point that you're going to have a very select group that's going to be able to afford or want to afford. I guess I shouldn't even say be able to afford it, that elect to go that direction and spend the kind of money it does to compete at an NTPA level, Grand National, or a Champions Tour level.
I understand what you're saying. It feels like we are approaching a shift. We're getting to that precipice to where, something's going to happen. And fingers crossed that everybody at every level continues to be able to compete and get the most out of it. But I agree. It does feel like we are headed a certain direction, not necessarily good, bad, or the other. But I think that's a really good response. I want to go back to the Case question. 2 questions for you guys. Was Case what started on the farm? I mean, was that kind of all we saw growing up? And then the salvage yard, that's what everybody wants to know about. I've heard rumors that you can walk into your guys' shop, list a part number, and you say, okay, give us 30 minutes and you're going to go find it off something back there. Never been there. Tell us all about both those.
Well, first off, so far as the salvage goes, we don't go back and take it off my tractor. When a tractor comes in our shop, we tear it down to nothing and file it away on the shelf in each category for that model of tractor. And we hopefully can ship it that day or the next day. That is our goal so far as the salvage goes.
How often do you get stumped, or does it ever happen? If someone's looking for a part, is there like a 90% chance you've probably got that part?
Well, as long as we stay with older tractors. Now,
sure.
We're approaching the newer tractors, and they are hard to get for salvage. So we've got quite often we cannot supply. But the older tractors, I would say we hit 80 to 90% of the time we can supply.
That's
and then
really
the thing
neat.
of it is, with the aftermarket coming in strong, it works good together. We don't have if we miss a sale on the used, maybe it's a popular enough part that we have it new, and we're getting into more, not just relying on other companies to supply aftermarket parts. We're getting stuff built ourselves and putting it on our shelf.
Was Case the tractor on the farm back in the day? Is that what inspired it?
Yeah, that's where I grew up on Case tractors.
Sure.
And Dad he had Case all his life farming. So that's where it all started. And then I worked for a dealership for 3 years and couldn't make ends meet. So I went on my own, did repair to start with. And in a few years, we had some tractors there they didn't want to fix. So I bought them, and that's where salvage started. And it was that first year, maybe 6 or 7 tractors we tore down. And now, Case and International, I would say we got over 1,800 of them on the shelf.
That's awesome. I'm gonna give some shout outs, some comments here. Mark Ham from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, chiming in. Ham Boys Racing Toys, one of the official photographers that goes out on the Outlaw circuit with us. So, Mark, hope you are doing well. And the Irish pulling team, of course, that's Chuck Hobbs over there in Illinois, a faithful fan of ours, works with us from time to time. And a compliment coming in from John Hale, says, gorgeous tractors. I love the classic look. We keep talking about, pulling. Let's go ahead and take a look at some. We're supposed to be talking about getting ready for Nashville, Illinois. I don't have any videos of Nashville, but I do have, I believe, courtesy of Outlaw Pulling TV, I have some runs from the back half of your 2024 season. I think I've got some highlights from Unionville, Missouri, and Buckner, Missouri. Let's take a look at a couple of these runs, and then maybe you guys can just tell us what was going through your mind or what it feels like from the driver's seat. We'll start with Dale first, and Dale, maybe you can tell me who was driving each of these nights. We'll check out the Big Temptation. Let's take a look at that really quick. right,
Yeah,
a
that
couple
would.
of angles there from Unionville and Buckner from both the sled cam and the end of the camera. Who was driving, and walk us through what a typical run down one of those tracks feels like.
I would have been driving that weekend.
Mhm.
Brian would have been there the weekend or the year before. I got the gray helmet now, I guess is the easiest way to put it. I definitely at Unionville, I know, and well, both of them, definitely Buckner. I come out way too hard. Sometimes that tractor will hook up a lot quicker than other people's tractors. I can get on it a little faster, but it just didn't quite work down there. And even at Unionville, it didn't hook up quite like I wanted it to, but it was up and down too much. Should have had a little bit of weight off the front end, and I think it probably would have hooked up better out of the hole like it normally does if it had a little less weight on the front end.
Do you remember how you finished those weekends? I wanted to say I thought you won at Buckner.
Yes, at Buckner.
At
He did.
Buckner maybe, but Unionville, I think we were second or third.
Yeah, I think
Whitworth's
yeah,
one.
yeah, Scott, or I was gonna say it wasn't Scott, but it was Colton. Colton, I say. I think
yeah.
Colton. Of course, Colton was on a tear this past summer. You know, he was a man on a mission. But yeah, I think he came out on top. You know, that's interesting. Dale, are you a bit of a perfectionist? You walk away with a win and you say, okay, here's what I could have done better. Do you guys use that? Will you use video and go back and kind of examine your driving style? Do you use that data?
I have in the past, especially like with pulling with PPL. A lot of the times with a lot of the broadcasts that they've had, I've went back numerous times when we could go back and watch the old videos like on MAV TV and stuff like that. And it was very useful.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's really neat. I love hearing that. So folks, he's sitting here looking at it, remembers it specifically, you know, on into the next season. He says, hey, you can look, I missed my weight a little bit. Should have let it drift out a little more before I got into the throttle. Elmer, let's take a look at Little Temptation. I think it's from the same weekend, and let's see what it looks like from your driver's seat. All right, looking back on it, what do you think from that vantage point?
Oh, it was probably an average pull. Probably I got up and down at the tail end a little bit more than I would want it to bend, but it wasn't a bad hook. I was pleased with it.
What
at Unionville, I think that was third place.
Yeah, third place at Unionville and third place at Buckner for the black tractor. And I was farther down at Unionville with the yellow tractor, and I thought I was fifth at Unionville.
Do you have the results right there?
Yeah.
Who just out of curiosity, who are the top 5 at Unionville? Because that was an outlaw pull that saw and traditionally does see kind of pulls from some other areas. Like Bobby Jones came to that one, the Whitworths came to that one. So there were some heavy hitters at that show.
Yeah, top 5 was Ben Buster, Novinger's Little Dominator, Little Temptation, Field Sobriety, and then Big Temptation.
So Mike grabbed a second place finish. That's a solid run. You know, when that thing's right, that tractor can be an absolute bullet. So, you know, Mike Novinger knows how to drive with the best of them.
I'm hoping he comes out more. It's fun having Mike around.
I agree. Yeah, he's a top tier driver. What are some, now that we've watched from the driver's seat, I want to hear from both of you. Tell me about some of your most memorable hooks or some of your wildest hooks, or maybe a win? Do you guys each have a win that you look back and say, that was one that's special to me? You know, what comes to mind when people say, what are some of your favorites?
Go ahead, Neil.
Oh, I always like going to Henry. I got 2 wins at Henry in the last 4 or 5 years. So I got 2 big crystal vases with my name on it. So Henry's always been a special place, even though we're not in there this year. Hopefully maybe next year we can get back in there. Far as memorable rides, there's a lot of them. There was one crazy one, not crazy one. It was just a fast drive. It was up at Pierce, Nebraska. I think it was with a Nebraska bush hook, and they were questioning whether the track was going to be good for us or not. And because there was like R2s, Hoffman, Green Lightning. I mean, we had several good tractors up there, and they dished it up lightly and watered it back down and laid it in. And I think Hoffman was out there at like 350 or 360 or something like that. And I come out of the hole probably harder than I should have. And I didn't think I was going to go nowhere. And all of a sudden that thing hooked and it rocketed. And I think one of the guys with X Factor, I can't remember which sled guy, but he thought he clocked it at 38 mile an hour. And he goes, it set him back in the seat that his head come back. And I mean, that run up there was just unreal, because it started out like I wasn't going to get a good hook, and then it just rocketed.
Fans, 34 is the fastest distance I've ever called or announced when I've been at, working one of these pulls. 38 is, what was your distance?
it was almost 400, because I didn't hit the 400-foot club there.
Oh, that's wild.
I mean, it was on a rocket. It was on rails. And those passes there, you just cherish. I've only had a couple. I truly say a couple of those that the nose just hung there at 1.5 feet, and it didn't wobble one bit, and you were gone. It was just phenomenal.
That's got to be a feeling that's almost indescribable or irreplaceable when you're on a pass like that,
because you're not going fast like a drag car, but it will set you back in the seat yet. I mean, you can feel any puller out there. I don't care which classification it is. If you're tied down in the seat, when you're hooked and going.
Yep. Elmer, what stands out in your mind? Well, what was your first year pulling? You've probably been around, for a couple of decades, maybe more. And in that amount of time, what was year one, and what memories stand out as big pulls for you?
Well, if we want to include farm tractor pulling, it was 1972. That's where we started.
Yep.
So it's been a few years, and probably one of the most outstanding passes probably would have been Goshen, Indiana. One time I did win it up there. Probably the only time I ever won a PPL show. So I was real pleased with it. It was one of them, Goshen, Indiana is a sandy, sometimes no bite track, but we got hooked
Goshen's a tricky surface.
I felt pretty good parking it in first.
What do each of you, we're getting to the tail end of the interview, and we're going to have you guys back. This has been a lot of fun. I've got a million more questions. What do you guys still have left? What are your goals? What would be the one feather in the hat that you would chase before it was all said and done, and before the dust all settled?
We would still love to have a championship in PPL, which we have not got yet. We were very close twice and had breakage, and stopped the big tractor from taking the championship. But it would be very nice if we could come in and win one of these sometime.
Dale, what's still left in the what's the golden gem that you're still chasing?
That right there. I mean, it'd be nice to come away with a championship, and it's a lot of hard work. Most people out there, even if they're pulling something lesser, they do not realize the hours of all of us that are pushing their equipment to the max on how many hours we put in. And if it's not the championship, I would like to hit a couple other pulls down the line, go back and maybe hook just here and there, and just pick up some places back east that we've never hooked at. Yeah.
That's one thing with you guys being in Kansas, it does, you start getting out there to where, like Wisner is maybe closer than a Bowling Green or something like that. You're a good long ways from getting out there into the heart of NTPA country. Well, gentlemen, I wish you the best of luck. Nashville, Illinois, May 16th and 17th. Elmer and Dale Haug going to be piloting the iconic Case tractors, the Big and Little Temptation, both an at-large invite and a fan vote. The whole team's coming out there. Both tractors are coming out there. Thank you for coming on this evening. Anybody you need to thank before I let you guys go?
ElmersRepair.com.
There you go. All right. A couple more of these. Mark Ham says favorite pass was the Cornhusker Classic in 18.
Yeah, there was a good one there too. I think he had a camera on the sled there.
Perfect. Gentlemen, best of luck in your 2025 season. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on. And, keep on pulling, folks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to all the fans, and come out and watch us this year.
Thank you much. Have a great evening, guys.
You too.
All right, the Temptation Pulling Team, that is a pair of guys I've been wanting to interview for a long, long time. That's two tractors that I just grew up watching dominate. True through and through, J.I. Case in there. Let's head way out west. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do an actual hat change. We're going to go to the Cal Poly kids. I got my Cal Poly hat. We're going to hang out and talk with them, where they're going to tell us everything about the pull that we need to know about right out there. I go to bring Brandon on stage, and Brandon is gone. Brandon has been waiting patiently and perfectly in the green room for 10 minutes.
There we go.
Right there. You were right there all night long, ready to go. You were like the kid turning in his homework early, and then the bell rang, and you were nowhere to be found.
I had to go change my hat.
Good hat. Good hat, man. Hey.
I saw you change your hat, and I was wearing the wrong one, so I had to go change it.
How's it going in California, buddy?
It's going good. The weather's nice here. It was a little rainy the other day, and now it's nice. So,
hi, Trevor. Should I bring you on here too? I see you hanging out down there in the green room. You're like, wait a minute. Okay, class is fully in session. The whole gang is here. California is good. What's the atmosphere like? What's the buzz around campus? You know, I can kind of remember college. It's a little hazy. I was there for a long time, but I have some fuzzy memories. And when something big was about to happen, the folks on campus were talking about it. Are they talking about the pull?
I mean, yeah, I would say so. It's kind of a niche department of the school, right? Like Cal Poly as a whole is pretty big, but we'll in the next week, I'm sure that they'll notice all the posters and signs and stuff that we end up spreading around campus and just trying to tell all these nice people about a tractor pull.
So you guys have been on this portion of the show for several weeks in a row now, and I try not to run my interview questions dry, but it's important to remember, we've got new folks watching. We've got a fresh audience every time. So, let's not assume everyone knows the hot and dirty rundown. Tell them who you are, tell them what's going on, and tell them what makes the Cal Poly Tractor Pull Club so special. Whichever one of you wants to take it away.
Go for it, Trevor.
Okay. So my name's Trevor. That's Brandon. We're both students at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, which is like central West Coast. And we have a tractor pulling club on campus. We have two tractors that we run. One is an Allison V12. One is usually a twin engine with two big block Chevrolets that run on methanol. But we actually blew that one up a couple months ago. So we just over spring break pulled one motor out, and we got some new drive lines and stuff to make that a single engine as well. But we put on this pull. It's Sunday, April 13th this year. And we raise a bunch of money, and all of the money that we get from ticket sales and sponsorships and the concessions that we sell at the pull, even all of that goes back to scholarships for the 30-something kids that we have in the club. So they get to, through the summer, get to come go to all the pulls and experience that side of pulling. And then during the school year, we work on our pull and then hit the rest of the pulls for the end of the year. And then we get to get scholarships from it. So it's a pretty awesome program.
I didn't, I always tell people strong speaker, poor listener. And that's something like it hadn't clicked. So, the tractor pull club, I had kind of assumed you guys said, well, how do we pay for ourselves? What's our fundraiser? And so, we'll have a pull. And then that's like, oh, sweet. Like we have an excuse to go pulling. But the pull is so much more than that. The pull, I'm realizing tonight, this is a way to actually take the members of your club and say, hey, here's a way to, this isn't just about like, oh, cool, we're going pulling. Here's a way to further your education. Here's a way that you can keep getting invested in that. That's really, really neat. So that's you've almost created your own economy there. Like your members need a way to keep being a part of it. And does that help it grow? The better the pull does, do you notice more and more members each year?
Yes and no. I would say like 9 times out of 10, we have double the amount of people on the day of the pull because, they're not people that really care to like be around at all the meetings and go to all the pulls and that kind of stuff. But they're, people that would come hang out and come to the actual pull day, which is really cool to see. And like you were saying, like this is much more than just a group of people that go to pulls because we have like every major that you could think of, like even I don't know, there's business kids, there's aerospace kids, like so they're putting on the pull takes kind of a whole different crew than what would go to all the pulls during the summer. A lot of the same are shared, but I think Brandon would say the same thing. Like the people learn more of the event promoting side, right? Like we do all the back end work, and it's something that not just the pulling kids go to, I'd say.
Brandon Vandenberg, he's got a good question here, and I think he might be using some text to speech. Either that or you just got an awesome nickname for the weekend. So he says, hi, Brandon and Traverse. I test drove a Chevy Traverse recently. So, hey, there you go. He says, this is a great question. After you graduate, are you going back and keep helping the college out with the pulls and the tractors? And I'm going to take his question a step further. I've always wondered, so like when you age out, do you never get to drive again? Or how does your involvement work post graduating?
For the poll itself, we'll have some alumni come back. It's pretty much all current students that put on the event day of the event. Alumni help with sponsoring and giving chunks of change, but pretty much it's just the students who are in the club that get to do everything. Just kind of, it's like we realize it's our time now while we're here in school, and then once we're out, it's like, all right, that's their time. That was our chapter that we got to kind of turn it over to the next group. And same thing with driving the tractors and stuff. It's kind of once you had your time, it's like, I mean, even this coming summer, it's like I plan on going to polls and stuff and being around the Massettis and whatnot, but I don't know. It's like, do I go help out Cal Poly or not? It's kind of that weird gray area. Obviously, we're still friends with a bunch of kids, so we'll be friendly and obviously help out where they need help. But don't plan on driving the tractors and stuff like that. Unless I get to for some reason. But
here's the next one I've wondered about. And Trevor, maybe you could answer this. Like, so you're heavily involved in the Major League Motorsports and the MLM Motorsports. You probably kind of know most of the drivers, or even more drivers just out there in California in general. Are there drivers who pull because they graduated from Cal Poly? They're a part of the club. Like maybe someone's like, I didn't know what pulling was. And then they got in the club. And then afterwards they're like, well, I can't end there. Like, I'm going to go buy a hot farm. I'm going to go buy a pro street truck. Do you have a handful of people that would fall into that category?
Yeah, actually, I was going to say.
Well, that's almost what I was wondering. Brandon, like you've talked a lot about like this driving is great. And I'm like, well, we can't just, Brandon, I'll jump back to you. Are you going to go pulling post-graduation? What are you buying something? Are you building something? What's your plan, big dog?
I would love to say yes, but we'll see.
I
plan on going to polls and helping out the Massettis and whatnot, but down the road, I'd love to say yes.
So when Brian Massetti decides to, like have a slush fund or something and like just kick you, like if money weren't an issue and he says, all right, go get in a class, what class would you get into right out of the gate?
Man, I think I mentioned before that kind of the single engine class I really like that we have, single engine tractor, modified tractor class. And then the one that's kind of below it a little bit, they still kind of run cut tires, or not cut tires, they still run tractor tires, kind of, sort of.
We
they
call
call
that
it Kana modified, I think
yeah.
is what they call it. It's
Yep.
kind of just a slightly lower class. Is kind of interesting. They still kind of look like tractors to me, but that single engine class is still pretty interesting. But
Parade Alley Lounge, a good friend from Bowling Green, Ohio, is giving Trevor a hard time. He says, "Why do your curtain dividers look like a hospital room?" Yeah, that's that college decor, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's get. I'm having fun with you guys. You guys are great to talk to. Let's get back on track with the poll a little bit. What's still left to do? What hats will you guys be wearing? And just tell us. We got 2 weeks. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Man, in terms of a midterm, plenty of time. Like, you do not need a topic yet. But in terms of a poll, it's time to get going, boys. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so actually,
go ahead.
Yesterday we've been on spring break this week, and we kindly convinced everybody to come back a couple days early, and we started working yesterday on setting up the field, right? So we take this random field that has like alfalfa or something planted in it all year, and then they chop it down for us, and we go out there and we set up 300 foot of bleachers on each side, and we put up a catch fence to catch any flying objects to keep the spectators safe, and we line the track with K-rail and do all kinds of stuff. So we turn this thing into a legit pulling arena. And yesterday was our first work day. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it there, but it was cold and raining, and everybody still showed up, which was really cool for me to see, because these people really are looking forward to having this event and care about it as much as like Brandon and I do. So we got most of it done yesterday. We'll still just kind of keep finishing up the keeping like the taters where we want them, and fencing off the pit area and all that kind of stuff. Just little stuff to wrap up, but yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. And then we also go to a couple events, like there's a farmers market downtown where we'll take the tractors and we'll go promote the event and try to sell as many tickets as possible and raise as much money as we can for the club. So yeah.
Now, last year, Mother Nature was not your friend. Brandon just held up a picture there that, is not like the white sand chill beaches that I picture of California. Like, that looked like a muggy Missouri March day. Is this typically a wet season out there, or is weather typically good? Oh, there we go. I like that. He says, nah, we got blue skies, y'all. It's going to be fine. 2 weeks out, you can't make that call. But generally, I don't know, what's the weather do in March in California? Is this a wet season for you guys?
It's been dry up until this point, of course. So it's kind of a give and take. I don't know. It seems like every couple of years, like Dr. Zahns said that every 6 years almost on money, you could count on it being rained out. But we've been screwed by it 3 years in a row. So I don't really know. But this year, hopefully, the forecast for the rest of this week looks clear and 70 degrees. So it'll dry that field right out. And then hopefully next week stays the same.
Awesome. Well, guys, we have about a minute left of your time slot. Love what you guys are doing. There was a comment back here. I think I got the gist of what he was saying, and I kind of echo it. Randy Barker says, please share the platform y'all are doing with other schools. Put it out there. I took that to mean either he would love to see more colleges doing something like this, which we talk about all the time with the technical schools and the diesel technical institutes that we have all through the Midwest. There's no reason this shouldn't catch on. Or he's saying, hey, I just hope people are aware of it. I hope they're watching it. I hope you can come out and attend. If people do want to come out and attend, where are they headed? What do they pay? Give them the quick and dirty on that.
Yeah, it's probably one of the cheaper tractor pulls you can see. $15 at the gate or online. And if you want to just help out the club and you can't make it, you're living out in the Midwest or something, go to our Cal Poly tractor pull Instagram or Facebook, purchase a ticket. That money goes directly into scholarships for us. And so, yeah, like Trevor was saying, there's basically, we get sponsors from the school and other big sponsors to help support the tractors and the club and stuff. But all the money that we have at this event goes straight into student scholarships to help keep us in school and keep us doing this. yeah, so Instagram, Facebook, Cal Poly Tractor Pull, those are the best two ways. And yeah, it honestly surprises me that college in California, in the middle of California, that you hear all these other colleges in the Midwest and stuff that, diesel techs and stuff that don't have this. It's a great way to learn how to work on equipment and engines and just doing stuff. It's a really good way to do that. So if any school administrators, you're listening, students, go start begging teachers to get a tractor pull club. Or just
I
start
love it.
on your own, just get out your pickup truck or something.
I want to reiterate something you said. You don't have to be there, realizing that this does go to scholarship. This goes to helping kids further their education, further their passions. If you can't be there, you can't hop on a jet airplane and make it all the way to California. You can still get on Instagram and kick them $15. I mean, that's like a 12-pack of Coors Light, or at least that's what they tell me. So, maybe one weekend without that and it goes to Cal Poly is a good thing. Guys, thank you so much for what you're doing. Have a great night and best of luck on Sunday, April 13th at the Cal Poly Tractor Pull Club Tractor Pull. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, from out west, let's go down south. Charlie Ciolino is hanging out in the green room. We're going to go from a couple of guys who just are preparing for a pull to a gentleman who just got done with a pull. I can't even imagine kind of the relief and the bittersweetness that must feel. You know what? Let's just ask him himself. Charlie, how are we doing this evening, sir? How do we feel? What are we, 2 or 3 days removed? Saturday didn't happen the way we wanted it to. Nothing can be done about that. But it's in our rearview mirror now. Are we relieved or is it bittersweet?
Oh, I'm relieved, but I'm sad at the same time. We pulled it off Friday night. We thought we was going to be able to pull it off Saturday night. The track was covered. The earlier in the day, the radar and everything looked good, but it was like it's going to be early, and it just didn't happen. It didn't stop raining until 10:30, and we tried our best. That's all you can do when you do it. It's you can't you go so hard to make this happen and do whatever you got to do. It is sad, but hey, we had a heck of a turnout Friday night. Had some great pullers came down. We really appreciate everybody that came down. We had some of the best there, and I can't ask for that no better. I mean, I just wished on their part when they came and drove that far to come see us down here and come pull. We wanted them to get on the track and go.
Yeah.
Friday night was a good track. It's last class got a little sprinkle in, but we did make it through the pulls and get it completed. And it looked good for a little while Saturday, and then it didn't happen. So
the worst thing that can happen to a tractor pull is a cloud that refuses to leave. It's all you'd almost rather have. If at 4 o'clock you get dumped on and then it's gone, you can usually recover from that. But if you have something that hangs around and it can't make up its mind and then it just sits there and just kind of drizzles or steady on you, that's just tough. And I want fans and everyone's to realize, that's just, that's not a reflection on anything other than good old fashioned rotten luck. And I will say this, if you want your money's worth, go back to Friday night, subscribe to Full Pull, whatever you need to do. Charlie, I have to sit here and just be honest with you. I go to a lot of pulls and we do a lot of pulling promotion, and it's our job to, it's going to be great. And we have to a lot of times act like it's going to be great. Friday night truly was great. That was one of the most enjoyable tractor pulls I have watched in a good long while. I was just blown away at the quality of the equipment, the beautiful aspect of the facility. What's your secret to putting on such a good pull? Like you said, only pull in Louisiana, and boy, you guys, you just nailed it.
I really don't have no secret. I know it's a challenge to get pullers down here. We got just a Southern hospitality. We want to run like we like to go to pulls and see. We travel, we pull. I pull a super farm. Ariane pulls the diesel truck, and we go to other pulls and we see what goes on in them, and it's kind of put something together that works. And it seems like we got it going on, and we got our faults. I'm not gonna tell you that we're perfect. I don't think if anybody tells you they're perfect, It's not. But, you know, we're always looking to improve every year. I always got something in the back of my mind we want to do, you know, if we can do it. And like I told y'all before, you know, we outgrew our area. I know it is. I mean, what more can I do about it? But we're working on things. We're trying to improve and trying to invest into it. But to make it better, we want to continue this. We think we got a good thing going, and we'll go from there and see.
It's got a good atmosphere. Your announcer called me on the phone today, and we got to meet each other. Robert and I had a good chit chat. Really nice dude, and we talked about really the atmosphere down there, how simultaneously, you know, it can be for a rip roar and party crowd, but it's very family friendly at the same time. And he said, you know, we kind of do things a little different down here in Louisiana. We want to make sure that the moms and the sons and the daughters have fun, you know, so that way the dad can be able to go back to the pool again next year. But I know I'm going on and on, folks. Go to fullpull.live if you don't already. Go back and watch this show. It's a great show. There are some unofficial results up that I did find on Mid-South's Facebook page. And let's just talk about some of these right here. You've got to be pleased with the quality of iron that showed up. You guys had some heavy hitters down there.
Definitely we did. When you get the pullers, whether it's the two-wheel drives that we had, the diesel trucks we had, the super farm class, the 4-in-1s, you know, all these classes, the light limited, you had the best of the best. I mean, we had champions from Louisville. We had we just had them, the Texas. We had them all over, the outlaw champion. When you put all them together into one place and everybody gets along and have a good time, you can't ask for nothing no better than that. I mean, it's really, you know, like I always say, I bow down to all the pullers that come to our pull because I really appreciate it to put on a top-notch pull and they all get along and they want to beat each other out there on that dirt. And that's what it's all about.
Let's break some of these down and just talk about it, you know, based on what you saw. So the first one that we have pulled up here is the pro stock diesel truck class. And we can see right up there at the top, Brady Ingram. He was your 2024 second place finisher at the National Farm Machinery Show, followed by Caroline Armistead. She's your 2025 champion. Now, they pulled in the super stock class, and these are pro stock trucks. You also see you've got Nathan Veg down there, or Ference Veg in the Jumpin' Jack Flash. Looks like Cody Thomas drove it. George Strategas with the Hercules. He had some unfortunate breakage, but that was a tough class. What do you think of that one? What did the fans think? Was this a fun one for you to watch?
It was a fun one, and it was an exciting one because Ariana got to run her truck for the first time and had an awesome pull. But hey, the truck was hot at the end. They did a reset on the scale.
I was gonna say, she was test hook, wasn't she? She came out and she parked that thing out there in the yellow dirt, and I thought, look out, boys.
And they was a little worried about that, you know, what was going to be following and everything. And I think we could have held it though. I think they could have held it on the track, but it is what it is. It happens. Yep. We tried to cool it down, and we just decided to let it ride. It's no big deal. But she did give them an A for effort on that she did a wonderful job. So we got a little screw a little more screws to it and turn it down a little bit and see what we got and up here and down there. And we're going to be ready to go down the track again.
That's a heck of a first pass and a lot that she's going to be able to build on. Now, I was just sitting in my armchair and I was watching from home, but it looked like there was a good natural feel for kind of how that track was talking to her. I think she's got a bright future in that. We've also – go ahead.
Yeah, last year running it, you know, that's when we started off with a 3.0 truck running 3.6, and we wind up, you know, it gave her get her feet wet in it and everything. So she was a little comfortable. We did a practice hook Thursday night just to get her in that truck. It was the clutch was a little hard. Changed it around a little bit, got it there, and she was able to get off that line really, really good. So, yes.
So the next one up, do you want me to skip over this one? Do you want me to?
You know, I guess I figured out whenever I got done putting it back together, them extra bolts and stuff I had in the box down there. I think I knew where they went at, but no, it wasn't that bad. So the biggest thing was we did work on it Saturday, got some changes done. I think we're ready for the next one, but there again, we was going to be ready for Saturday night, but didn't get a chance to get the hook on it. But I'm happy with it overall. We just, you know, like you said, you do things and what happens on the dyno and happens on the track, sometimes two different things. But, you know, we think we got it back where it's supposed to be.
It's the hardest pull to win. And it doesn't matter if you're from Louisiana or New Brunswick, Canada. Everybody knows this. Hardest pull to win is your hometown pull. It's a hometown curse. It just is what it is. That, those tractors at the top, those are tough runners, and those guys finish up there. So you tip your cap and you say, hey, it's a long season. And like you said, you're pleased with what's going to happen. But, you got to tip your cap to the Deer tracks and the Thunderstruck tractor. Those are tough running machines. I think, a lot of people have seen those tractors do well.
Yes. And they continue. I think they'll continue to be doing well. So
what do you think your light limited super stock? This is a class that I don't watch that much in the Midwest. I've been watching it with some TNT and with some Mid-South. Really starting to grow on me. I watched this class in Kentucky last fall. This is a neat class, and I think these guys, they're really onto something fun here. What'd you have? 5 of them, 6 of them? Thought they put on a good show.
They do. They got a lot of high horsepower there. They're running with the light weight on them. And, a couple years ago, we ran them first, and my track likes to be stirred up a little bit for them. So we did run them second this year to make it a little bit better for them, get the track broken in for them. Because when you get all that horsepower wound up and on that hard track, wheel stands all the way down, and they get a little squirrely on them. But we got that situation worked out to where we run something first and then put them in there. And tough class. Everybody in there, I feel bad for Richard Taylor, that track got him. It got his turbo on this time down there. But it took a lot of horses. Our track down here, I contend my track crew, including myself, out there pointing fingers, and my cousin out there, and my same people that's there every year. I got the same people been on that track for 8+ years, and we kind of got it down pat to where we know what's going on, and we give it hell for the pullers. They love it.
David Vandenberg is coming in with a good comment. He wants to know, how far north do you guys travel with your Case of the Reds?
Trying to think, the furthest one, just, in the middle of Tennessee is about as far as we'll go. We're going to try to make some, I do want to try to go to Kentucky this year. There's some people that come down and put on pulls. I love to get up there and go pull with them. It's not an excuse. I mean, we run a dealership. We're a little limited on, when we can leave and can't leave. If it's busy, got to stay there and make the money. But we are going to try to get away this year and make a few little longer trips and going up.
This was a fun class. I liked watching, and this is where the track started getting, freckle greasy, but it wasn't, I didn't feel that you guys pushed it past the point of no return. I thought you wrapped things up right on. It was the Jed Pettis went out there. I think he was a test hook 299.18, and I heard Dan announcing, and Dan was kind of surprised that he took that hook. And I was able to see the rain coming down on the TV screen, and I said, he's thinking that track's not going to get, it's not going to get more bite as he goes on. And that distance held for quite a while until, Patrick Payne. And actually, I think Patrick messaged me today as well. I was able to meet, a good handful of pullers from down south. But a good run right there. So tell us about this class.
Yeah, this class down here is always an exciting class for the fans. I mean, it's the higher horsepower, hard pulling class. They love the class. We had a good run of people in it. Good mixture of where they come from and everything too. And it's just a tough class. And yeah, we always run them last. The fans like to stick around and see them and all that stuff there and see. But unfortunately, this year the track, like you said, it was a little slick, but it still was a biting track.
Yep.
I think it got a little sticky to the end there a little bit, but it was still hooking. It still was hooking. So.
And then the one that I can't wait to get to. This one blew me away. This one you guys had something special with your super modified 2-wheel drive truck class. I know that you're a super farm guy, but from a promoter standpoint, this one had to have you. You've got Donald Nelson, former outlaw, 6-time outlaw champion, Chase Richardson, your consecutive Louisville and NTPA champion, Robert Zajac, he's your all-time outlaw champion. Jesse Petro, I think I heard Dan say he holds the record for all-time wins in NTPA in that class. I mean, this What a two-wheel drive lineup. I mean, did you know all these guys were coming in, or did you see these rollers coming in and just say, your eyes just got bigger and bigger as your pits filled up?
It's kind of like you said, it was like almost a kid. I run around and told Ari, you see who just came in? You seen this champion? It was amazing to see because you never know. Last year, first year we had 2-wheel drives. We had a pretty good many showed up. Second year, I think a lot of people was waiting on parts. And, it was down a little bit compared. And this year I was hearing like, we got some 2-wheel drives coming. I'm like, how many? I'm sitting there thinking, how many people is coming? And it was like, I think about 15 to 16 or so. But, but there again, we got them. But look at the list, like you said, this is the best of the best out there.
Yeah.
And they all did a great, wonderful job. We know sometimes, look, nothing against y'all guys because it takes a little longer. I mean, you got to get the starter carts out. You got to get that. But getting them out there to get them cranked up, they did a wonderful job. And they have as many pullers in that class. They ran them through just a little bit over an hour, and that was excellent on us. I'll just be honest with you. They did a great job running that class, and it was an exciting class. The fan loved them, a lot of noise, a lot of horsepower, and they just ran down that track like, it was great to see them.
Yeah, the pace was awesome. The track got a little better as the show went on. I'm looking at it, and there's even more that I missed. That Nothing Easy About It truck. I think he's your 2022 NTPA champion. And then your finish. I mean, if you're just a promoter, you can't write a better finish. You got 3 guys finishing within less than a foot apart. If you look at them close, you got 3 guys finishing less than a foot apart, and your last hook of the night wins it by 37 hundredths of a foot or whatever. And it just happens to be one of the most iconic pullers of all time. I mean, that's just, you couldn't have written a better story, in my opinion. That was a fun class right there.
Yes, it was. Really was.
Yep. Well, I've pushed you right at time, right at the limit. Anybody that you want to say thank you to now that the dust is settled, I'll turn the microphone over to you.
First of all, I want to thank all the pullers that came down. We had a great time. I hope y'all had a great time. We did the crawfish ball for them, jambalaya, ice cream with strawberries, and they loved all that down there. But I just want to thank every one of them for coming down there and come and pull with us, and hope y'all can make it again next year. Next time, hopefully, I hope y'all's crew enjoyed it down there. I know Jason's not on here tonight, but he did a wonderful job promoting, did a wonderful job filming and everything there too. And we're ready for next year. We're going to try some improvements and just hope the weather, hey, we can't predict that.
Nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do about that.
The other day, somebody was asking about the dates for next year. And we was temporarily just looking at some dates. And I said, just pick the one that's not raining on. You got to laugh about it. I mean, It is what it is, but hey. But we're going to get some dates. We're going to get ready for next year, and we're going to go from there. Try it again. That's all we can do.
I have spent many a hard-earned dollar on mega pulls that, it rains in Toma, guys. It rains in Chapel Hill. Pulls get rained out, and you just say shucks, and you go back to the camper, and you spend time with the family, and you say we'll get them next year. Charlie, you've got a special event. I can't wait to be there in person. Congratulations on what you got going on. Thanks for coming on the show.
Sounds good. We'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
Have a good night. All right. Fun pull. I mean it, guys. Check it out on Full Pull Live. Go give that one a look. Beautiful facilities. That 2-wheel drive truck class, that will rekindle your love of that class. Let's go way up north to Wisconsin. Let's look at some mini rod and garden tractor pulling at New Richmond, Wisconsin. I think you guys might have the coolest hype video that I've seen in quite a while. I love playing that. Hello, Matt and Tara. Welcome back. Midwest Spring Super Pull. We're 1 week closer. What what did we do? What steps did we take this week to get even more prepared for this pull?
Well, our pull is Friday and Saturday this week, so we've been loading equipment, getting all of our equipment ready, and I loaded our tractors in the trailer tonight, and tomorrow we'll finish loading everything and head to the arena first thing Wednesday morning. So it's coming fast.
Yep, folks, this poll will be live streamed as well. Full poll live is going to cover this one. Slightly different platform. You're going to find this one on the Facebook page, and I believe possibly, I think I'm quoting this right, on YouTube. So you won't see this one out on the big website, or if you use your Roku or whatever. Doesn't mean you can't watch it. Go check out Full Poll's Facebook page. Go check out their YouTube. This one will be available. When does first hook drop? When will fans be able to click play on this big bad event?
10 a.m. Friday and 10 a.m. Saturday.
10 a.m. in the morning. How many total hooks are we anticipating at this point?
We should be well over 500. Yep.
500 per day or 500 total, like 250?
500 total. 500 total.
500
yep.
total. So 250 pulling vehicles ranging from, and I'm really trying to learn more about this and speak correctly, ranging from, kind of entry-level garden tractor pulling all the way up to, do you have small block minis? Do you go that big? Do you have the small block minis?
We're actually going to have some big block minis here, big tire minis. This year there's a couple coming out of Wisconsin or South Dakota and Kansas City. And we had a guy from Massachusetts who was out last year, and he might be making the trip. He's still trying to square some stuff away. So, anything from 14-horse stock garden tractor all the way up to 1,200 horse big block mini rod, and everything in between. So, just to clarify a little bit, we're expecting about 200 vehicles, and most of those guys will pull 2 or 3 times at the event.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
When I say we're expecting over 500, we're expecting over 500 hooks, and so we have one class. Any class that has over 30 entries, we split it into heats, and there's one class that I'll be shocked if it doesn't. We're only like 2 or 3 away from getting to heats in that class, and then there's a couple other classes right behind it. When you get to our super mods and our 4-cylinder mini rods, those are probably our most popular classes. And they fill up fast. So
I'm always looking to learn more. Your big block and your small block mini rods are going to be naturally aspirated, right? No blowers, no chargers of any kinds on those. But that does not mean, fans, that you will not see turbochargers at this event, as we've talked about last week, and in some in that outlaw or open, whatever the class is, where you'll see them running 4 cylinders, and they'll run. Can they run multiple turbos on those? Can you run?
I guess our rules are pretty wide open. I think you could. Most everybody just runs one. I know of a guy who's started working on something with a compound turbo that I don't know if it really fits anywhere, but he wants to try it and have some fun. We do have a guy that I think will be here. He runs, excuse me, a 5.3. A GM 5.3 engine with twin turbos, and so he pulls with the twin turbos. We make him pull against the big tire guys. But, it's a really impressive rig. It's similar to engine setup to what Mike Evans, and it's no joke. It's just way tamed down and on small tires. So I think he's got 34-inch tires, so 34s or 31s. So you'll see some really unique combinations.
Tara, what are you most looking forward to these next couple of days, and then the pull itself?
Oh gosh, the next couple of days are usually the busiest, but it's kind of like the quiet before the storm, and just kind of seeing everything come together before the arena starts to fill up is always kind of fun and interesting to see, because you don't normally get to see that side. I would say during the pull, I think it's like I said, kind of just fun to see everybody coming in and getting together, especially since we normally only see each other during the summertime. So just kind of a fun little before the summer getting to kind of catch up and see each other and spend a couple days hanging out and pulling and having a good time.
Is this, I know that's one of the biggest things. I'm getting stir crazy. I can't wait to go back out on the road again and see my pals, my friends, my extended family that I have with pulling. Same thing with you guys, I'm sure. I mean, are these some of the best friends you make and folks that you just can't wait to catch up with? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you betcha. That's kind of what pulling's all about. How many times will you drive down the track on a competitive vehicle this weekend? Not prepping the track or throwing the flag or driving the sled, but how many times do you get to go pulling?
I think I signed up for 3 hooks.
I added you on. So Tara's signed up for 4. I'm signed up for 1, and we'll see how the event's going, and then so. We are building a new tractor that I was really hoping would be done, but it's not done. So we're gonna wait, and we'll have that out later in the year. But
how many pulling vehicles do you guys have total, and what classes are you able to kind of swing them between and enter them in?
Yeah, so we have 3 pulling vehicles. 2 of them are, well, we used to have 2 super modified ones, so they're look like a garden tractor, but they have snowmobile engines in them. And then, so we only have 1 of those now, and then we're building an open class tractor, which has a 4-cylinder snowmobile engine with a turbo. And then we have a V8 mini rod. So Tara drives the V8 mini rod, and I'm going to drive the open tractor, and then my dad drives the super mod tractor. And we kind of take turns through the year.
How fired up do they have to get before they'll put roll cages on them? Because I know when I was at Lebanon, Missouri, I would see the 4-bangers with the turbos, and they absolutely had roll cages on. And then I saw the twin turbine, which just looked like the wildest thing I'd ever seen. And it's without a roll cage. So are all your classes that you guys own, are they all roll cage classes, or where do garden tractor owners make that jump?
So, like for our event, we kind of draw the line. If you have a V8 engine, we make you have a roll cage. Mm-hmm. If you don't, we've had we had a good year last year, but 2 years ago we actually had 3 people get bucked off, and I've been doing this 25 years, and I'd never seen anybody get bucked off before, and we actually had 3 in our event. And if you don't have a roll cage, a lot of times you can just kind of tuck and roll, or just walk yourself off the tractor and let the tractor go one way and you can go the other way and avoid injury. So a lot of it is personal preference. I started pulling, and then I got my dad into it, and then obviously brought my girls into it. But my dad is in his 70s, and his super modified tractor, sometimes I wish had a cage on it. And so when I built this new 4-cylinder, I said, I'm putting a cage on it so any one of us can drive it and not have to worry about it.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. How many pulls will you guys as competitors hit? Tara said it's a good time to see everyone before the summer gets going. How many pulls do you guys hit in the summer? What's a typical season look like for you all?
We usually average about 25 shows, which is way more than I want. But like we said, we have friends everywhere, and places you want to go, and you've got certain events that you say this is on the list, and we're going. Unless there's a wedding or something like that, that'll get in the way of it.
Is there a certain wedding getting in the way this summer? You said that like a man who's a little scorned.
Yeah, Tara's sister's getting married in September, and so we got to skip a poll that we really like to go to, but we'll still have fun at the wedding.
Tara, are you married?
I'm not. No.
Okay, so when you get me, you're hearing what Dad's saying, right? Okay.
Yeah.
When we get married, okay, you get big, fancy, really nice wedding if you do it in January. I think that's what I'm hearing from this conversation.
Yeah. I think that's something that's kind of always been known in our household.
Oh man, that's awesome. What's the farthest pull you guys travel to?
The farthest I've gone is I'm not sure if it'd be Liberty or Powderly, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. So that's about 14 hours from our house.
Sure.
I've had something in Florida on my list for a while. We've got some friends that they used to live up here and live down in Florida now. And so I'm not sure if we'll get that done this year or not, but it's on my list to do in the next couple of years.
I've been begging him to take me for like 3 years, I think. I really want to go to that.
Florida's they've got a neat pulling scene and a neat pulling culture. You can get down there in, that January, February.
Yep.
So maybe that's not when you have your wedding. I don't know. So, but no, they do have a fun, what we would call the off season. That's kind of their fair season down there. You can't, I'm learning you can't do stuff in the middle of July down there. It's just absolutely too hot. Do you guys have, what do you have prepared for the fans this weekend? I mean, are we going to be able to, food and drink on site? Can we pay and leave and get our hand stamped, or tell the fans everything they need to know to have a great time at the Midwest Spring Super Pull this weekend?
So when if you come in as a fan, we're just going to stamp your hand right away, and you can come and go as you want from the grandstands. And from the stands, you can go out into, there's a concession area, and it's really cool because you can sit in the concession area that's a little bit warmer than the grandstand area, and there's a big glass wall, and the tracks come right at you. And it's pretty cool. A lot of people will just sit in there in between classes. But if you want to wander through the pits, then we'll sell you a pit pass for $20. Mm-hmm. And you get a wristband, and you can go down through there and check out all the equipment and talk to all the drivers and wander the whole grounds.
Where are the pits in proximity to the pulling track? Are they in a separate building? Are they off to the side in the same building?
So if you're sitting in the grandstands, and there's two tracks right off the grandstands, and directly behind them in full view is the pits. And so the building is, I think it's 300 by 400. It might be 400 by 400. It's a very, very big building. And our pits are all in, and the tracks are in the same part of the building.
Perfect.
So there's just a fence between the grandstand and the tracks, and that's how we keep the pit pass. If you have a pit pass, you can go over or through the fence, and if you don't, you gotta stay in the grandstand area.
$20 to go hang out in the pits. Can you get your pit pass right at the gate when you walk in?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, it's week of pull. These things are awesome. We love that people do these. Can't do them without help, support, promoters, sponsors. Do you have a list of sponsors that you want to give a shout out tonight, or just helping hands that you'd like to say thank you one last time before you get going this weekend?
Yep. We have a growing list of sponsors, and just for fear of leaving somebody out, I asked that people check out our website. We've got a big banner that we had made this year, a thank you banner for all of our sponsors. And we've got a tremendous amount of help from I'm on the board of 2 local pulling clubs, and they both help us put this event on, the Badger State Dirt Flingers and the Gopher State Garden Tractor Pullers. And without them, we couldn't put this event on. And we get a lot of help from the members of those clubs, and support. They all come and pull, and they help us put this together. So,
Yep, absolutely. Takes a village, and these things they help a community too. They give back.
Yep.
You bring fans in, and that's why that's why they all do it. It's pull week. Thanks for coming on, guys. Best of luck. This is kind of one of those where if it's not ready by now, it's going to come out in the wash, and Sunday's going to show up one way or another, and you're going to be pleased and kind of bittersweet at the same time. So from a fan standpoint, I say good luck. From a competitor standpoint, I say go get them. Try to have a little fun this weekend, and thank you for doing what you do for the sport of pulling.
We appreciate it. Thank you for letting us come on here and talk about it a little bit. And we're ready to go.
Yep. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming on. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. That was Matt and Tara Larsen. They are promoting that big garden tractor pull, mini rod pull that they're going to have up there. They call it the Midwest Spring Super Pull up there in New Richmond, Wisconsin. You can watch that on Full Pull's Facebook page and YouTube account. So never feel like there's not something, there's no downtime in pulling. There's always something going on. And if you haven't given that sport a shot, give that sport a shot. Those mini rods are pretty cool. Those little 4-bangers with the turbos on them, that's wild, to think like that's a garden tractor frame. And that's the engine that's in a Honda Civic. So, that's pretty cool. That's everything that we've got going on in the future for pulling. All the pulls coming up in the future. But, it's kind of fun sometimes to look at what's already happened in pullings past. So let's dive into that right now. The section of the show where we go through my personal collection, really my dad's personal collection of vintage pulling photos. I've got about 150 of them that belong to us personally that came through Northeast Missouri, Southeast Iowa, years approximately 1980 to about 2002. Fans have done a great job submitting me more. This is one of the most common and popular requests I get from fans is they want to hear about a certain tractor. If you have vintage pulling photos and you want to share them with the world, reach out to me at Beer Money Pulling Team, and I will try to get those cataloged and get those out there to you. 5 a week. And let's see what 5 I have this week. And then I think I'm going to have a little time to kill because I don't have a ton of stories on these, but I did bring something upstairs with me tonight that when it comes to vintage pulling, I do want to kind of show you guys, and I want to encourage you to look into it as well. So looking at some vintage pulling photos, what did I scrape up this evening? None of these were my pictures. They're alphabetically categorized by driver first name for some reason, but that's how I have them. And right now, these are the either most recent or the ones I've not gotten to just yet, and none of them happen to be mine. So I don't have a big story on them, but a big thank you to everyone who submitted them. Clayton Olam submitted the first one to us. This is Thunder Road, driven by Jim Cowdell, Denny Neubauer, and we've got one other driver on there. Let me pull up my pictures really quick because I want to make sure that I give that the proper labeling that we have on there. Jim Cowdell, Denny Neubauer, and Robert Lee. The Thunder Road indoor pulling here. If anybody recognizes this truck, if anybody knows much about this truck, if anybody recognizes this venue, let us know. That they actually, I think they tagged themselves. The drivers tagged themselves in this. A lot of times what I do, guys, I get these pictures, fans submit them. If I don't know who they are, I'll push them out on Facebook, and I'll ask each of you, do you recognize this truck? Cool thing is sometimes the drivers themselves say, yeah, that was me. They tag themselves. The next cool thing I'd like to know is, where is this? We have a couple of hints. You can see in the back, you can see the Simon Says truck hanging out in the back right there. And then I'm not sure who the other one is next to it. That blue one could be Midnight Raider, could be Kenneth Popham. You guys know that I'm high on him right now. Recent discovery that I did. So good looking 4-wheel drive truck. Next one is courtesy of Jim Harmon. You can always count on Jim Harmon to drag up pulling photos of this pulling team. Now, I thought I wasn't an expert, but I thought I knew as much as anybody on this pulling team right here. And I had never seen nor so much as heard of this pulling vehicle right here. But evidently, this is the Connor brothers. We're talking Brian and Ernie Connor right here on a tractor that they called the Flying Farmall. Really, really cool looking piece right here back in the narrow front days of pulling. Of course, when it comes to the Connor brothers, we can trace them back. Obviously, the famous or infamous, depending on how you want to look at it, Bad Medicine, the white 280. Everybody knows that tractor. Before that, they had the original Bad Medicine, the 4430 or whatever 44 series white painted John Deere that they had. And then you trace them back to the Massey Harris that they called First Blood. And I thought the First Blood was their first tractor. I had never heard of the Flying Farmall. I don't know who's driving this. I don't know if we're so far back in time that this belongs to their father. I don't know if this is Brian. I don't know if this is Ernie. But this was a cool one to have. Getting some new fans in here. Mike Horton says he's watching from Denver, Colorado. Mike, thank you for joining us tonight. We will be transitioning to Massetti and Friends very shortly. So thank you to Jim Harmon for that picture. Speaking of going out west, John Bohr sent me this photo, and he said get in contact with him. He said he also has droves, hundreds of vintage pulling photos. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to make some phone calls before I personally tell any stories on them. This is way out west somewhere back in the day, way outside of my sphere of influence. This is Danny Colho on the Red Rabbit, another good-looking modified four-wheel drive truck. If I had to guess, early 1980s is where I would put that. Of course, we chatted with Dale and Elmer Haug earlier this evening. One of my most fun interviews, one of my favorite interviews that I have done so far. So here is their big temptation, Tomah, Wisconsin, 2001, 2002. This is another one courtesy of Clayton Ullum. Great photograph right here. This is what I remember this tractor looking like. This one was the big one pulled in the heavy supers, and then the black one was the little one pulling in the light supers. So kind of a little bit more modern throwback, but a good looking photograph of that tractor. They said, they actually were telling me off screen, they said they knew for a fact it was pre 2003. This was Elmer and Dale telling me this before the show. They knew it was before 2003 because they still had the orange steel rims on the back. And they said 2003 was the year that they switched from those. That's a funny thing pullers tell me. When I show pullers vintage photos, they will look at the rims and the tires to identify the year. I know I've talked to Bobby Jones about that, and he said, well, if you could zoom in on the tires, I could tell you what year. So it's just interesting what pullers remember. Tires and rims, that's how they date them. One last photo tonight. This one is courtesy of Bodie Ott. Now, if there's a man out there who would have an iconic and vintage Allison pulling photo, of course, it's going to be someone from the Ott family. This is Jim Ebel and Allison Wonderland. Now, I need to do more research on this tractor. I have heard many a story on the tractor called Allison Wonderland. And I mean, even what a wonderful name that it has, Allison Wonderland. But I didn't remember the name Jim Ebel. So I wonder if it was sold. Not really sure if that's who originally owned it. But as a matter of fact, this might be a perfect segue. So you might ask yourself, why are you into vintage pulling? What got you into pulling? When I was a kid, my father gave me this book, and I still have it with me. And you guys can see it is just busted to heck and whatnot completely. I mean, this thing's holding on for dear life. This was my pulling Bible when I was a kid. This is written by Michael Bardo, published in like 1985 or something like this. And some of you might have it. But this is, they didn't have internet back then. They didn't have Instagram back then. This is just a collection of pulling vehicles from that current time period, which to me now just serves as an absolute reference. There's the rambunctious tractor out of Fort Recovery. And the reason I kind of bring this up, I think the Allison Wonderland tractor might be in here. So we can just look right from the source and see who was credited as driving it. You can still find this book on Amazon. It's like stupid expensive just because it's old, and I doubt there were a whole lot of them that were made. I mean, you can just see some of these awesome photographs. Your Foolish Flyer from back in the day. I've got pictures of that one as well. Bill Leichner and the triple engine Dirt Slinger. This is cool. Comment. Have you guys seen this book? Did I find the only copy? Did anybody, did you guys grow up with this as well? Could have swore Allison Wonderland was in here. Maybe it's not. I'm sure the minute I log off, I'll flip through there and turn right to it. Kurt Paulson, good friend of mine, good strong puller this summer, says it was Ken Legman tractor. Jim is his son-in-law. Ken passed away in an accident, and Jim ran it. So thank you, Kurt, for chiming in with that. So Jim Ebel, and it was Ken Legman's tractor. Jim was his son-in-law. Kurt passed away, and Jim continued it afterwards. So awesome. You can flip through the book, or you can just wait for the comments to roll in. I appreciate that information, Kurt. I hope everything's going well. Cannot wait to see you out on the circuit this year. Not only in your Alki burner, but I think you've got a loud one coming out this season too. I won't let the cat out of the bag, but keep your eyes peeled on the Crazy Horse pulling team up there out of, where is it at? It's not Lamar's, Iowa. Maybe it is Lamar's. Somewhere up there, northern Iowa, I want to say. Big things coming from them this summer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the pulling through the past. That actually concludes my section of the Let's Grow Pulling podcast. You have survived an entire show of the Let's Grow Pulling podcast with just Mike Idle. No Jason, no Kinsey. But fear not, because the fun is not over. We're going to go way out west. Brian Massetti, hi, howdy, and hello. Let's just go ahead and get a couple of them on here. Okay, and Uncle Steve. And what's going on, guys? No Jason, just Mike. The crowd had to only watch Mike tonight. We had record viewership, more people stuck with the show, and we had more people watching than ever before. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
It could also be a bold-faced lie, but he's not here to say that it's not the truth. So, hey, that's what we're going with
That's right.
he logs back on. We had 1.3 million viewers, Jason Schultz, and unless you're here to say otherwise, that's what happened. So,
That's the truth. I believe it.
How are you guys doing? Are you ready for the Cal Poly poll?
Pretty much.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Had another good interview with Brandon and Trevor tonight. Those guys are full of energy. I mean, they love what they do. It's hard not to get excited when you're talking to those guys.
It is cool. It's a neat program. And I really appreciate you having them on every week. It's good for them good exposure, good for them to be part of this kind of stuff. And definitely a neat deal.
Yep. I didn't want Kevin's chair to feel left out, so we will bring Kevin's chair onto the show as well. This might be, Ryan, is this a gamble? Is it dangerous to bring Kevin on when he doesn't know he's live?
It's no more dangerous than when he does know. You're gonna
get if he does know he's live. Well, guys, I know
same.
this is your thing. This is your show. I'm going to turn it over to you. Looks like you've got a fun guest lined up, and have fun.
Thank you. But can you bring everybody else on? We have no way to bring anybody else on.
Oh, okay. You don't have access to that?
No.
It's going to be a super boring show without this.
Are we waiting on anybody else? So we've got Brian, Steve, Kevin, and Jared. Do you need me to hang out and bring anybody else on?
Hopefully Trevor and James are going to come on.
Okay. I will. I'll turn it over to you, but I'll hang out in the back room and kick them live if I see them log on.
Thanks, Michael.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Sounds like James is going to be a few minutes late.
That's just fine. Thanks for watching my half of the show, guys, and have fun with Massetti and Friends.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you too. Well, what's up, fellas?
How you doing?
Jared, have you? Well, my brother Steve just left, but
I'm still here. I was just closing the door.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have ever met or not, but
Hi,
Jared.
Think we met once or twice, but it's been a while.
Yep.
Cool.
How you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
I don't know. It took me 30 minutes to get this figured out in here, so hopefully it doesn't mess up on me. We'll see.
I mean, I like this. He's sitting on a couch. Like this is definitely the most relaxed guest we've had.
Yeah, I mean it's got recliner too. I mean, I can
Look at this guy.
It's not bad. Well, it doesn't show the doll houses over here for my daughter though, and all that stuff. So that she's got her own.
Is the couch in the shop for when Bobby gets pissed off at you, or is it just a cool place to sit?
It's it's kind of a everything.
Okay.
So if I want to work out here, I bring the kids out here, and I got a TV on wheels, so I turn on the Disney Channel. They watch it. They sit here. I'll set up the portacles in the summertime for them. So anything to get them out of the house, so I can do work and still act like I'm being a responsible adult.
Well, it's all about acting these days.
Well, I have plenty of pictures. And I'm no joke. I've got a princess vanity over here, a dollhouse. There's a palm tree laying on the floor. There was a Anna and Elsa dress in here the other day. So
that sounds like Trevor's dorm room.
What?
Wow, Uncle Steve, that's cool. So, before we jump in to find out more about the family and more about Jared, I would just like to say happy birthday to our mom and Trevor and James's Grammy. Wednesday is a big day for her. I didn't mean big like she's old, but it's her birthday and it's exciting. We like to celebrate all of the birthdays for everybody. So, anyways, happy birthday, Mom. And
Happy birthday, Mom.
Do something to celebrate, a little more appropriate than a podcast. But anyways, also, I would like to mention that Saturday, April 12th, the next event we'll be a part of, well, Friday and Saturday, Max Cackle has a pool at the what do we call that? The Ag Expo grounds. It's the California Antique Equipment Show in Tulare, at the same location where the pool was in February. Friday night is antique tractors, and Saturday is modified trucks and tractors and pickups and whatnot. So, and then of course Sunday, April 13th, we will be headed to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, for the annual Cal Poly Truck and Tractor Pool. Anything you want to throw out about that, Trev? Or?
No, just looking forward to having everybody there and eating food and having a good
How'd
pool.
the setup go in the rain?
Good. We worked on it yesterday, and we got all the bleachers set out, all the posts driven in the ground. So we just got to do like the K-rail and then the fencing and the like ticket booth and that kind of side of the event. But everything else should be good to go.
Do you still have to put up the Jeremy Correa commemorative fence?
Yes.
I don't know if you recall. I think that was because of something with him. I don't exactly remember, but we were just saying
I did not know that that's because of him, but yes, we do. So we have all the posts in the ground. We just got to put the wire out.
Okay.
Was that when the blower pulley went flying?
He shot a pulley into the crowd.
Something went up into the crowd, and was it actually his tractor? I just remember giving him shit about it.
I'm pretty sure Zons has told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was for sure his tractor. I think a pulley came apart and chunks of it kind of went all over.
Yeah. That was quite a few years ago, but still.
I didn't realize that that fence is in honor of him, but that's cool.
I know.
Well, I'm pretty sure that piece of the pulley would have cleared that fence. So it's just there for shits and giggles, I think.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's this fence made out of?
Got squares about that big.
Yeah, like hog wire.
Yeah.
Oh well,
It
hey,
looks
it keeps the insurance companies happy, right?
Yeah, the thought that counts.
Yep. Well, Jared,
sure
if you don't mind,
Don't worry, Steve.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do when you're not working on and driving old Swiss Power back there, and your family? And I know you got 2 little ones. Well, not so little.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, 3 and 11. My full-time job is I buy almonds and walnuts for a company out of Stockton by the name of Pearl Crop. So I'm traveling up and down the valley. I go up to Stockton at least once a week to my office. Other than that, I work from home or work out of the truck. I do a little bit of ag consulting out, for some pistachios and some almonds. That kind of what helps support this. As I probably need to be 10 times bigger to actually support it, but every little bit helps. And we started pulling. My dad started pulling, I think, in '69 in the stock class. I actually wrote the history. It's been 10 years. I probably need to go back and revisit it, but this is probably the 8th or 9th version of Swiss Power. Actually, before it was Swiss Power, it was called Alcoholic Cooker. So
that's my street name.
Nice.
So
nice.
He's gone through several different things. He went from stock, and then I think he put like a big block Chevy in an Oliver, and first pass he blew up the transmission and rear end. Back then you couldn't really call a lot of people, and he's from the Imperial Valley, so there wasn't a lot of resources. And he didn't know a lot of the guys up here in the Central Valley yet, so he would just do it, break it, build it bigger. And my dad's motto is, 1 bolt's good, 10 bolts is better. So like he'd build stuff like a brick shit house. So everything was really heavy. So so we've evolved quite a bit over the years.
How is your dad doing?
He's pretty good. I mean, his mind's still there. It's his body that's given out.
Yeah.
Farming his whole life. He was always a big guy. Just everything that he did, knees, back, hips. They've all been replaced, but he still has issues. But he gets around on his little scooter, and he likes to come to tractor pulls when he can. It's a long drive from the Imperial Valley. At least you just get up to Bakersfield, let alone Madera, Turlock, Stockton.
No doubt.
So, but
that had to be tough.
Yeah.
I was going to say that had to be tough all those years being based down there. And it's 4 or 5 hours to the closest pool.
Yeah. The closest pool for us would be, when we actually used to do Del Mar.
Right.
But, we would jump in the truck at 4 a.m. and, drive up to Bakersfield or drive up to Ventura or, wherever the pool was. And, as kids, we didn't know what was going on. We just sit on the tires and my dad give us a rag and tell us to wipe stuff down and, just having fun. It was a different time back then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's got a story he told me one time. He threw us in the truck, and I can't remember where he went to, but we went up to a pool, and he had his dates wrong. It was the day before.
Oh,
so we drove all the way up to wherever this pool was, and it wasn't like it was San Diego. I want to say it was like somewhere up in the Central Valley, and got up there, and they were like, "Hey, man, that was last night."
Oh.
So I'll have to ask him what pool that was. Yeah. But he had good time. It's still a really big passion of his. He helped me quite a bit on it, and he just likes the fact that we've come so far. And back when he was doing it, he wasn't reading plugs or setting elevation or anything like that. He was just like, "Well, let's try this and see how it goes." So it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. Well, tell him hi for us when you talk to him next, please.
Yeah.
Miss seeing him at more pools. Do you remember like your first pool when you were actively involved? I know, like us, you started going when you're a little kid, but it's hard to know your first pool. But like when it first started mattering to you, I guess.
My brother was involved. Like when I was at MJC, junior college, and then I went to Cal Poly, and I was kind of getting more into it, but I wasn't helping because it was my dad and my brother. That was when we had the twin engine, and I was at Cal Poly for 2 months, and it was March of 2000. My brother wrecked it at our home pool in Imperial Valley. And I left about 2 hours before that because I had finals the next day or midterms or something. And so I left, and I didn't have a cell phone at the time. And I got home, and they're like, "Hey, you need to call your parents. Your brother was in an accident." I'm like, "What the hell?" So I actually have a really crappy video of that pool somewhere. And the person that was filming, when John went through, he hit the K-rail, and on top of the K-rail was one of those Jeremy Correa commemorative fences. And it grabbed the front end, and it like twisted it. The tractor flipped over. He had a roll cage, and it threw the suitcase weights like 30 feet in front of the tractor.
Oh, Jesus.
The motors were still running upside down, and they finally just like ran out of fuel at some point. And my mom stands, my dad was on the side. It wasn't a fun day. And at that point, my dad was like, "Hey, we're done. We're not doing this anymore." And I was just starting to, get more interested in it. And I was at Cal Poly where, track pulling on her started, and Zons and Weisenberger were like, "We can help you. We can do this. It's no problem." So it took me about 6 or 8 months to convince my dad. And that's when we started getting parts up there, like the rear end. I think we used just the rear end, the front axle, the steering wheel, and the seat.
Oh my God.
And then everything else, and the motors obviously, but everything else we got stuff for, or new to us. So built it in shop 6.
Wow.
So you guys built the last version, the red one. You built that one in the school shop?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. And I don't know. I don't think it was my first pull with it. One of my first pulls was Paris. And another one, it wasn't even painted yet. And we pulled at Cal Poly, and they made us stickers for the side that said Rust Bucket because it was. And I think it might have had fenders on it at the time. I don't know. I don't even think it had fenders yet. And so we pulled there. You know,
was that up at the airstrip or was that in the field by then?
That was in the field.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't remember how we did, but I mean, we made a pass. So it wasn't too bad. And then,
has your brother ever driven? Has your brother ever driven since that accident?
Yeah, he's driven a couple times. And
okay.
He was a little nervous, obviously, after that accident, but I always thought my brother was a better driver than I was. But there was
you didn't tell him that though, right?
I mean, if he's listening to hear, you know, he might. I didn't tell him I was on, so we won't tell him that.
Right.
In Tulare, one of the laps, it was painted. It had two motors.
Hang on.
And
sorry about my brother there, Jared.
He never got into it. He just half throttled it, you know, until the sled stopped him, and we're like, "Hey, what happened?" And he's like, "My lens fogged completely up. He couldn't see anything." So he was like, "I couldn't get it open," and so he was like, "I didn't know where I was going." So, and then if you go back and look at the pictures, you can see his lens is just fogged up completely. So, yeah, well, he's probably driven it 4 or 5 times since then.
Oh, good.
After the accident.
Yeah.
I think we were at that pull. Remember, Brian? We had just left.
Yeah, but I think we left right before, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we had just left, and then we heard, oh shit, there was a big accident.
Yep.
That was a long way from home.
Yeah. And my dad, being the guy that never throws anything away, still has the frame rails.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. He still has the frame from the red one that I wrecked.
I was just going to ask. And since
you want to tell
really
them how that one ended too?
Well, there's no adults with us tonight. Obviously, it's just all of us kids. But I was going to see if there was a way we could play that video from your helmet camera.
It's on YouTube under Ukiah. Shit, I don't know. That was your helmet camera. I just
the funniest thing about that video is that like it you know, I mean, I'm glad you're okay, but your head hit the roll cage so hard that the GoPro like flew off, and then later, I think like 10 minutes later, Kevin goes and picks it up out of the dirt, and he goes, "Oh, it's still recording."
Yeah, you know how many times we watched that at Applebee's after that night?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me drink at Applebee's for a while. They thought I had a concussion, and then
we had to keep you awake.
Yeah, and then one of the waitresses apparently had a bad back and had lidocaine patches, so she gave me it was real nice. My neck was killing me.
Yeah, you got all juiced up.
Little Applebee's.
So the Applebee's waitress is doling out nice. That's cool.
Yep. She felt bad for me. I couldn't drink. So yeah, she was like, here, take this. See if it helps you. It works great for me. I'm like, whatever, I'll throw it on.
I don't remember that. You said you couldn't drink that night?
No, you guys wouldn't let me drink because you guys were afraid.
I was letting you drink.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like Kevin.
That's
no,
Kevin.
I was like,
letting me drink.
But I do like that the waitress has a side hustle as a dope dealer.
No kidding. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Hey, those are hot commodities there.
So that was obviously the last pass for that tractor, and then came the chassis that's behind you, right?
Yeah. That was Don Mayo was like, "Hey, we can build anything. Let's do this. How do you want to do this?" So that's when I made a trip back east to see Scott Tedder, and you know, I was thinking I was going to do a tube chassis, and Scott talked me out of it, and was like, "Listen, you don't." And I mean, I sat at his house. I actually stayed the night at his house when I was back there, and he showed me videos. We watched tractor pulling for a couple hours, and he showed me the differences in how the wedges were hooking up versus the tube chassis. And so he changed my mind, and he's like, "Listen, I'll tell you how I do it. You know, I have a special way of doing it, and he's like, I don't have a tractor on the West Coast. So yeah, we got the rear end from him. I bought the gearbox out of Blown Senseless. I can't remember who owned that one, but they have two of them. And then bought a bunch of components off of Scott and had them all shipped to OMC in Yuba City. And those guys designed it up on the computer in SolidWorks. And yeah, every bracket was drawn up on the computer, and then they would send it to somebody. And, an hour later, it would come back like perfect, bent, everything, all the holes in it. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So, they put a lot of effort into it. And Don used to joke, he goes, for what I have into that, I could have bought 2 really nice Corvettes. And I was like, probably. So
how did you meet Don?
So I was working at Tejon Ranch. I started there in 2004, I think. And we had about 1,000 acres of pistachios, and we needed our contract with our harvester was up. So OMC came down. We had another company we were going against, and Don came down with Tommy and a couple other guys, and we just had a lot of fun. They got the contract, and we'd go to the farm show, or we'd go to like an ag event, and I'd see them, and I'd start drinking with them, and they would be like, "Hey, come around anytime." So it took a couple years, and I asked him like, "Hey, would you be interested in sponsoring one of these?" And he's like, "You know what? I thought about building one of them, but I'd rather watch you do it." So that was kind of the start of it. Mm-hmm. We had a rough go for a while. We didn't do very well with that red tractor. Probably because I built it in Shop 6. But we did. They would help me out with some parts and a lot of shipping stuff. And once I wrecked that in, was that 20? I think 2012.
I don't remember.
I have a really good picture on my phone of it on one wheel. So once we wrecked it, that's kind of when it got to this, and they did a much nicer job.
Yeah. Don was a super good guy, as you know. I mean, just one of the neatest guys.
He loved to help everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he helped you or other pullers. If there would be a pull in Gridley or Yuba City or something, and they would break. Hey, next day, come down here. We'll weld it up. We'll do this. Yep. Didn't matter who you were. He wanted to help.
Yeah.
So,
good people.
Yep. And I love them all to death. They're still great. I mean, we still run their colors.
Yep. That's cool. Well, does anybody else have any questions for Jared or anything we want to know about him? No?
You guys pretty much.
I know a lot about Jared.
Oh, that one time in Reno, Kevin, but I don't know.
It's family show. Family show.
What a time, huh?
Well, James, we haven't said hi yet, but thank you for making it on. How are you?
Pretty good. I don't know what the hell is going on here. My computer. Here, let me demonstrate something real quick. I'm going to turn on the light.
Cool. You look cool like that, James.
Kind of like a ghostly look. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, what happens?
Oh, don't do that.
Definitely turn the lights back off.
Do it in the dark. That's cool.
I turned this projector on.
Oh,
that's a dark gray screen.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
We can't see anything. But you look good.
White. Yeah. You look cool as hell, though.
Well, thank you.
You're the whitest of the Massettis.
Which is saying something. Like,
yeah, it's super white right now.
So where are you, Jay? First of all,
I'm in Dallas Hall, big old building. It's not working out so good though, apparently.
Anything exciting about how you got in or no?
No, I just walked in the front door.
Oh, okay, well, cool.
Jared, I don't know.
Yeah, well, Jared, I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but we spend a little while getting to know our friends. And thank you for coming on, by the way. I appreciate you being here. Now we turn it over to James, and he has a pretty cool marketplace game we play. And hopefully Jason or Kinsey is back there. They can do all the screen sharing stuff we need to do. If not, I don't think you can do it, right, Jay?
Yeah, I've got it going, I think, but I need someone to pull it up.
I've seen it a couple times, so I don't know how good I'll be.
Hell, you don't have to be too good because Kevin and Trev are going to cheat and probably win anyways. So
that's true.
The rest of us just play along.
Yeah,
Kevin's
exactly. I mean, no. I don't cheat.
Yeah, hopefully we have an angel back there to put this up.
You could just do it audibly.
Audibly.
Oh boy, that would be tough.
That would be.
Well,
Just describe it.
Shot a little texty text over to Jason to see if they can help us. So
Well, I'll go back a little bit. Remember, Jared, when you in Ukiah that one year when the red tractor got messed up? Remember we hauled it there that weekend?
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
On our trailer, and we put it on there and tied it down, and only 3 tires touched the ground.
That's right.
So
I
bent the frame rail. Yeah, every motor mount was bent, and I bent the frame rail back around where the third motor was, down and in. So yeah,
it tweaked up.
When I take all the motors out of the yellow tractor, it does the same thing. One wheel is just a little bit off the ground.
It just sits like that?
Yeah, well, if there's no weight in it, yeah. It's a very it's too loose of a frame. We've stiffened it up over the years, but
is that on purpose? It was built that way, or is it tweaked like that?
It was built to twist.
Yeah.
But when we built it originally, all 4 were on the ground. But with no nothing, like I took all the motors out, the gearbox, everything this winter, and I was like, oh shit, okay. It's got a little.
It just sits like that.
Got a little tweak to it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. But everything looks straight.
Yeah, you did that to your red tractor too. That was pretty cool. That was with motors in it. The one tire was off the ground.
Oh, it was bad. Let me see if I can.
I think
I know I've got
red
that
tractor
picture too.
You went from one.
Look, can I get a close up to that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it right there.
I got the video pulled up, so if we get my screen share working, we'll show the video.
But I think you went from like that right rear tire to the front left tire with
pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think
the front end was like it felt like it was kind of going like this, and I think I rolled up on the sled a little bit when it twisted, and it kind of shot me.
Mm-hmm. Where did the name Swiss Power come from?
Just my mom is 100% Swiss. My dad was 50% Swiss, or is. So we're very proud of our heritage. Actually, back home in Holtville, the Swiss Club is on the other side of my dad's property. It's cut out of our property.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we're like very Swiss. We like chocolate and watches and knives.
Nice.
Dude, I like those.
You guys got
too.
good.
I might be
knives,
Swiss.
too. That's neat.
All the good stuff. So we had a Swiss guy. He came through the Imperial Valley because he knew there was a bunch of Swiss people there, and didn't know us, but it was like a friend of a friend. And we're like, hey, do you want to see the tractor? And he's like, what? So we pull him out to the shop, and he's like, I think you guys are more Swiss than I am, because he was like,
he was actually from Switzerland.
He was from Switzerland, yeah.
Yes.
My dad speaks Swiss, or Swiss German. So it was just kind of funny, his reaction to it. Like, you guys are really proud of this shit. We're like, I mean, yeah, of course we are.
Was he familiar with tractor pulling, by the way?
No.
Okay, so for him, it was just like This is fucking insane. And
Yeah.
by the way, awesome.
I think there's a couple like it's more like diesel, like kind of like hot farm classes, maybe. There's a guy that came out here from Switzerland, Daniel Giggisberg, I think. And he came because he heard, he was out here visiting, and then he heard like we had a tractor and we were Swiss. So then we met him, and but I don't think they have like the big tractors like this. It's mostly like diesel. Somebody told me they had like a noise ordinance or something that they couldn't be too loud, or I don't know. I could be making that up. But yeah,
it's also like the only nationality you can put power behind, and it's totally cool. Nobody's ever said anything.
I mean, power. And, it's definitely one of the lesser known powers, right? So.
Yeah, and it's implied what you mean.
It's very neutral. I mean, it's
neutral. It's like Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
It's the Switzerland of countries.
Nobody questions that. Swiss power.
I know I haven't got my ass kicked for wearing one of the shirts yet, so.
No, you won't either. That's the thing. It's totally safe. Well, how's this screen share coming, Jay?
I mean, I don't have any power here.
Jason said that they're in an area with shitty service and they'll help us as soon as they can. We just got to keep talking.
The worst
we
thing,
need to vamp. Just tell them we'll vamp. It's fine. We'll just keep bullshitting.
The worst thing is I can't even show something because that's what it looks like. Like,
yeah, we can't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Here,
this is a terrible.
Can we use this opportunity for Trevor to tell us about the progress on his sled?
Yeah, Trev, how's it coming?
Yeah, that could be good. We're pretty much done with the fabrication side of things.
What?
I mean, we got a little bit more to do, but the major stuff is all done, and then we're just waiting on getting the hydraulic components. Getting most of that from OMC actually, and then we'll wire it up and put all the hoses on it, and maybe go pulling.
You already get it painted and everything?
Wait.
No, not yet. So, because we still got to finish just a couple more things, and then we'll try and.
Dang, you got the cab and everything built?
Try and paint. Yeah, it's not done, but it's the frame of it's all there. I took a picture of it.
Oh yeah.
And will you guys paint it in the shop, or are you going to take it somewhere?
Yeah, we'll paint it.
Oh, that's great.
What color? White.
White.
Yeah, dude. Red, white, and blue.
Kind of see it up there.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
I love the way you said, just run some wires and hoses.
I picked up on that too. Yeah.
It's simple.
Bring the
That's
easiness
it.
into it.
Just a little hydraulics.
Hey.
Oh, here we go.
All right,
man, I was going to ask James about his presentation.
Yeah,
I got the video.
Oh, here.
Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Ouch.
We can't hear it, but I don't think that's going to matter.
That's okay. And you're going to see a problem right about here.
Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was Jared's
His
head.
head flew off.
Wow. That was a spiral.
Just felt like it. Yeah.
Dang, I was getting ready to kill some more time. I had some good Reno stories, Jared.
Oh man.
Well, thank you to Kenzie for saving us from that.
Yeah. Thanks, Kenzie.
Well, you remember that one night, Jared? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I had to piece that night together with the receipts in my pocket the next day.
I think Las Vegas is Sin City.
Bro, I've had that
Holy
before.
cow.
Like I get that. And I did not get into a tractor accident.
I think those are two separate nights, but
they were two separate.
Anyways,
it's always a good time when you're out with Uncle Kev.
Oh yeah. Well, Jared, you said is my face gone when it goes to light like this?
No, we can see you.
Okay,
You look
cool.
good. You're very pale, but other than that, you're fine.
You look like Ariana Grande.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, Jay, give me a sec before you start, but go through the rules. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, Jared, I'm going to show everyone a marketplace listing. You're all going to guess the asking price. Closest answer without going over gets a point. 3 points if you get the exact answer. If you win, you'll probably get a GSI t-shirt, but maybe not. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple.
All right.
I don't think we're really going to wait for Kev, but yeah. Anyways, first listing. You guys might have seen this one if you were on Facebook today.
Shit.
Don't look it up now, Trev, but this is a modern machine 2-wheel drive chassis. It was run by the Theobalds. It has aluminum SCS planetaries, airlock rear end, SCS transmission, comes with all the weights. It's got the hydraulic lift system in it for a body, and no body, obviously just the chassis, no motor either. And it's, as a chassis, has won numerous national events, including Bowling Green. Pretty cool. This is a popular one, definitely. And yeah, is Kev back or no?
No.
Okay.
Well, he's out looking this up right now.
Yeah, probably. We're going to start with Trev because he's the most likely to be cheating right now. Trev, what do you think?
Man, I really have no idea. I'm going to say 50,000.
50?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I'll give you the short rundown here, Kev. It's a 2-wheel drive chassis.
Oh, don't worry about it, Jay. What did the other guys bid?
Well, it's not your turn yet. We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Steve, what do you think?
Oh, wow. I was hoping not to be second.
You are
We'll
second.
go with 50. I'm going to go with 32.
32. Okay, Kev, what do you think? 50 and 32.
We're at 50 and 32.
Yeah.
Okay. 40.
40. Okay. Dad, what do you think?
Well, I know I just saw this one the other day.
I figured.
I
bet you didn't see it the other day.
Or yesterday,
listed
this
around
weekend
today.
I thought I saw it this weekend. But anyways,
Could be wrong.
I'm going to go with 20,000.
20.
Man,
Oh, shoot.
Jared, what do you think?
you know, is it cheating if I remember the price?
No.
No.
Not cheating, but
7,500.
47. Wow, Jared, that's a guess for sure.
Wow.
Wow.
What did he say?
He said 47.5.
Oh, shit.
Nailed it. It's not
Oh, no.
cheating. I was,
I look for parts a lot. I'm looking
No,
for.
it's not cheating.
Yeah.
If you know the answer.
I had it in mind that somebody might have seen it and remember it. And I mean, that's fair game. Jared with 3 points. Strong start. Only
That's
6
a good
listings.
start.
So definitely out in the front here. Next one, a little bit tougher. This is a Shelby Cobra. It's a real one. It's only got
Whoa.
246 miles on it. Never been titled. And the dash, as you can see in the bottom left picture there, signed by Carol Shelby and Jack Roosh. 540 cubic inch engine. That's all the information we have, but it's original. It's a real one. So this one we're gonna start, Steve. This is a tough one.
it is a tough one. 500,000.
500.
Well, but
This is Roush Racing. It couldn't be original.
I don't think it's an original
Well, I'm sorry, it's not like a stock like factory deal.
Oh,
Even still stuck with 500,000 though.
Thanks. I'm gonna stick with it. It's fine. It's fine.
That's in pesos.
But that's actually a really good point, Brian. I appreciate you bringing that up after I guessed.
Well, yeah, I should have waited for everybody else to guess.
542.
Yes, you should have.
Came with
I was
420.
already there, dude.
But it's not a kit car. This is
yeah, but it's not 246 original miles either. It's 246 on this build. But
we're getting in the weeds here.
I'm not sure on that, but possibly.
All right.
This is anybody's game.
It's your turn, Kevin.
Yeah, Kev.
Oh no, I was hoping to go last.
That's not how this works.
I'll say 158,500. 158.5.
158.5. Okay. Jared, what do you think?
I'm going to say 126,000.
126. Specific answers here. Dad, what do you think?
Yeah, if only anybody had experience with these.
Well, they don't know how to spell, so the license plate tells me that. But I'm gonna go with a flat $100,000.
Hundo. Trev?
What's the highest guess right now?
Is that $500,000, bro?
Half mil.
Half a mil. 200,000.
200. Good
It's
guess,
in there.
Trev. It's a good guess. Good enough. 299.
Oof.
299. Trevor, last minute there with a guess of 200. Gotta get the point. It's 1 point.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
300,000, and I would have been really upset.
yeah. I was kind of hoping someone would, but it's okay. I didn't change it. That was what it was listed for, but I was still hoping. Anyways,
299. They did the bargain pricing. It's not 300.
yeah, that really tricks you.
Just a little.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have.
yeah.
I
You're
would've
not gonna
gone
buy
for
it for 300, but 299. Anyways, this
Good
one
deal.
here is a 77 Chevy 2500. No motor, just the body chassis. You need a motor and a clutch. It does come with a Dana 60 front and a Detroit rear. AAM rear, Detroit True Track in both. It's got an SM 465 transmission with an NP205 transfer case, and it's got hydraulic steering. It's ready to go pulling with a motor and a clutch. Pretty interesting one here. We're going to start this one off with Kev.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to
Okay.
say $20,000. Proud of that.
Okay. By the way, is this one familiar to you guys?
Yeah, this is called the isn't it like the Grinch or something?
No, I just meant because I couldn't remember if I used this one or not already.
Oh,
I'm not
then
sure.
no, it's not.
I'm not
I
sure.
wouldn't know.
Jared?
17,000.
17. Dad?
12.5.
12.5. Trev?
13,000.
13.
Hope it's 20.
Uncle Steve, you're the last guest here.
Is the gap between
Sure you do.
12,000 and 15 or 13 and 15?
13 and 17.
Oh, I'm gonna go $13,001.
Oh, what an uncle.
Come on,
What?
20.
Oh.
Be 20. Let's go.
Let's go. 20, 16.5.
Oh,
Damn it.
Not quite, but Uncle Steve with a guess of
Dang.
$13,001 gets a point. Jared, the closest, but he
Wow.
went over. It's unfortunate.
Um,
There you go.
So the standings now, we're halfway through already. There's only 6 listings tonight. Jared still with 3 points with his memory. Steve, Trevor tied for second place with 1 point. Kev, Dad lagging a little bit here, 0 points.
This sucks.
Anything could happen though, Kev. You're
Yeah, that's
honestly
true. I got to get 2 in a row.
you've been on a dry streak for sure, but
Yeah, this is weird.
it is. It is. You know what? I think this one's more up your alley. This is a 7-seater bicycle.
Oh yeah.
It's
Do they all point in? That's
yes,
amazing.
they
Yep.
do. But only one has a steering wheel and brakes or brake.
Mhm.
Well, there is some
One driver.
engineering in this.
There, I was gonna say, Trev,
Yeah.
do you mind walking us through how this works? Because I am confused as shit.
I can't see. Oh, wait, I can zoom. Whoa.
I bet you it's 6 seats and one guy pedals, and then everybody thinks they're helping.
I don't think so, Kev.
No. That's like it all
Look
goes
at-
to a
No, I know.
on the lower
Well,
left.
Steve, let's let Trev handle this
Okay.
one. Yes. What he comes
Yeah,
up
we
with.
need a picture from the bottom. Also, this could make a hell of a lawnmower, I think. Put a blade under it.
How so? I'm curious.
He doesn't actually know. He's just.
Why didn't they
Same
flip it up so they could see it? See how the magic happens, dude. Let's see it.
But it runs great.
Well, it depends.
That's the
It
best
seems
line on
like-
this one.
Seems like you're missing 7 pieces before it's really running great, but I don't know. It's got disc brakes, don't know where, and then a drum brake operated by handbrake. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't really get it, but it does have brakes, presumably. It's got no rust, and he's not looking for trades. Back to Trev. Trev,
I have
how
no
the hell
idea.
does this work? Is it like, because they clearly all have little sprockets and
Pedals.
chains.
Right. But they're all going
So then,
in a different.
Are there all
angle.
a bunch of shafts and shit with U-joints?
I think
don't
it's.
get it.
I
Yeah,
think
the-
it's.
the
I
secret's
think it's like a
under that
ring
one
and
picture.
7 pinions.
Oh, you know what? It could be.
It's a
How are you
big
going
worm
to turn the
drive, goes
pinion
through
the
whole
right
thing.
direction?
Well, then you have another
Or is it-
pinion going off the other way back to the. Or
Yeah.
No,
back to the
I
front.
think James's
Right.
idea was shafts and U-joints.
But where would the pin
You
go?
still have to translate from.
Driveline.
How
Well,
you
the
gonna
driveline
They're
is
leaving
going
out
towards
one
the front.
important
I mean, there's
picture.
only one. See those two. Look on the left in that upper right picture. The 2 wheels to the left of that upper right picture are the front. The back is the drive wheel.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you could
So
see.
you're
the-
telling me that the
but look at
the person
the middle.
steering is looking the wrong direction?
No,
No.
No.
He sits
it
over
goes-
that back wheel.
Oh,
no, you can see the steering wheel on the bottom right picture. It's the seat over the 2 little wheels is
Okay.
the driver.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It's
Yeah, it does. It's right there in the
I'm
picture.
sure it's a
Well, that makes sense.
shaft like that. No,
I agree.
Yeah,
with
this
James.
would be
I don't
fun.
get how it works. Like that doesn't seem right to me. But that's the only thing that seems
Magic,
possible.
dude. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I was
They're
really
just
counting
peddling
on
for nothing.
Trevor, but he's
Can
letting
you
us down.
zoom in on that lower left picture or no?
Yeah, but I'm scared I'm gonna.
Oh, all right. We don't want
Do it after. Do it afterwards.
Yeah,
Jared.
we'll
figure it out
we'll come back to this. This one we're gonna start off with Jared. Jared, I'm putting you in a rough position here, but you do
Good luck,
have
bro.
a 2-point lead. So
On my little screen, it looks like an octopus.
okay,
Yeah,
that's one way to look at it.
So I'm going to say 2,200.
2,200. Okay.
That's a solid guess.
What makes you go from octopus to 2,200? If you don't mind me asking.
You know what? That's what an octopus would be worth to me.
Okay, that's fair.
But this
Yeah.
is.
I mean, it
That's
could be $12,000 for all I know, but I mean, that's
Could be.
definitely creative. I don't believe that runs great though.
No, it's definitely missing some pieces for sure.
It's missing the power plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of a roller right now. Dad, what do you think?
Well, you don't see very many of these, so I think they're probably expensive.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there and say like $6,000.
6,000. And I have to say, I did a little bit of research of the companies that make these, and like they're genuinely advertised as like, this is how you're gonna have like work meetings, like a conference bicycle. Like you're all gonna like sit down and like talk about serious shit
As you drive around town.
as you drive around town. Yeah.
You should put some cup holders on that top range.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Get lit up while you're doing it.
Trev, what do you think?
I think like $600.
600. Honestly, that seems like an insult, no?
Yeah,
100%.
that's an insulting bid.
There's $600 worth of seats on that thing, Trev.
It's worth 600 for scrap.
Steve, what do you think?
Okay, first of all, I think Jared is onto something. They really missed an opportunity. You shouldn't put 7 seats on this. You should put 8.
Yeah, that's a good.
This is a ridiculous.
The only thing that like I
The
could
driver-
see.
Well, you call it the
driver can see.
octobike.
Well,
Yeah.
the driver wouldn't be able to see anything.
No, I mean that's true, except like it's not that hard to move your head a little bit to the left or to the right.
Sure, completely valid.
I also appreciate that
still.
the tires they used appear to be like the low speed spares from like a Prius.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, well, production cost has to stay low. I mean,
Yeah,
you're not
no,
going to build
it's-
these things.
I totally agree with you. This is fascinating to me, and I wish we owned one.
Honda Civic gave up its tire for that.
$2,400.
24. Kev, you've got an
I think
opportunity.
the 2 things would make this better. If
Mhm.
it's spun around while you, like a merry-go-round,
That would
Like
take
the teacup ride?
Sure.
like a teacup, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then you
terrible
also
idea.
were propelled forward, but you're spinning. And then you do those bachelorette parties in Nashville, and you put all those girls on there. They just go flying.
Yeah. This is a fantastic idea, Kevin.
That's true.
All right, I had to look this up. They're actually really cool when you see one that's not in the weeds.
Whoa,
20,000, huh?
Kev's got to guess first.
I don't see a price, but I'm
That's
saying.
not my guess.
What's
I
your
looked it up
guess?
too because we had 45 minutes here. So, but I think this one.
Like he's legitimately admitting that he's cheating.
No, I was gonna say.
No,
'cause
I just saw that they sell
$20,000
new
too,
for
yeah.
20,000, but they're out of stock. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking we could try. But this
Got
one,
more.
what's our highest? 22.
6,000.
Oh, that's
You need to
maybe
go higher
higher
than
than
that,
I was
though.
thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna go 6,500
6,500.
because it's
It's a good
one of
guess. Not good enough. 5,500.
Oh,
Dang.
Uncle Steve with a guess of 2,400. He's gonna take that
Damn it.
point. Dad,
Yeah.
6,000 closest. Good effort, but
It makes a lot more sense if you actually like Google it.
Yeah, they look much nicer.
I'm
Is there
definitely
a,
gonna go
is there a
after the
picture of
show.
the bottom? Like, can we figure out how it works?
Oh yeah, it's got chains. It looks like.
It definitely has chains because they're sprockets, but how does it transfer to the rotational energy of the
I can
drive
see
line?
it.
Oh, there's a U joint right there.
Yeah.
Where?
What?
Right there.
I don't
Bang.
know how this
You
works.
don't need an engineering degree for that. Just
No.
saying.
A couple engineers on here couldn't even figure it out.
Look at that.
Like he was pointing to it and I still couldn't see it. So yes.
Well, there's a bigger square hole, but anyways.
Anyways,
You don't have the number for this one, do you, Jay?
Phone number?
The phone number? You don't have that. I'd love some more info on this.
Hey, we should figure out when Jason's not going to be on and plan those for the nights that we call people
yeah, I don't have a phone number on this.
next time.
That's okay. It's probably better.
Mike Idle sent it to me.
This is a good one.
Yep. Next one. The 1984 Ford Ethan Ranger. She's ugly as smokes, but you'd still take her home at closing time. She's got a V6 4-speed manual with 4-wheel drive. Just needs the hubs to be replaced. Needs an exhaust. I'm sure there is other things to list, but I'm not sure what they may be. I mean, what else can you say? She's got some holes where she shouldn't. That's never a good sign. Daughter bought it for her first rig, but decided it wouldn't hold enough people. Starts and drives.
Did that.
You can see top right image here. She does smoke a little bit, but
that's not doing a burnout, huh?
No, that's idling, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
She's got a couple of dents. Lots of character in the paint.
Mm-hmm. Patina.
Yeah.
Check out the real wood dash. I mean, that is sick as hell right there.
Yeah, that's probably original.
I mean, how many people
clearly
want to haul? You could get 8 or 10 in the bed of that truck.
That's
more
right.
than a damn bike can haul.
I don't think his daughter gets it. You could fit.
I don't think she has that many friends.
No.
Well, she
But if
just
she
didn't know
had
where
this
to put
truck,
them.
she would.
Maybe it was the lack of friends actually that was her problem.
She
She had
could throw
too
a
much
couple of them
room.
big girls in the back. Be...
On that note, Dad, what do you think?
I'll buy
Oh,
this
man.
thing. Whew. Got V6.
I'm gonna go. It's an 84. I'm gonna say $750.
Oh, that's way too low.
784, something creative. Dad,
That would have been smart.
Trevor, what do you think?
I mean, it's a Ford effing Ranger. I think $3,000.
3,000.
How's that song go? I ain't no stranger. Or fucking Ranger.
Steve, what do you think?
I feel like it's between those two guesses. And so I'm going to come in somewhere near the middle at $1,800.
$1,800. Okay, Jeff?
You guys are missing it. This guy knows how to write an ad.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking 1984 for this bad boy.
1984.
Good guess.
That's pretty solid.
Jared? Oh, shit.
800.
Did you put the?
What I was gonna say.
Yeah, he definitely put it on.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Not my pencil.
I was looking right at the screen.
It hit my mouse. What was your guess, Jared, before I showed?
850.
850?
Yeah.
You want to alter that at all?
He definitely
$1,199.
does not want to alter that because Dad was 750. Steve
See,
was
that's
18.
over $1,000.
Jared was 850. Jared, I'm gonna trust it. He's our guest.
I mean, that was my
trust
guess. Yeah.
Well,
It's legit. It's legit. He was going to guess.
coming
I
off
think Jared
the
was
top
saying
as
it
I
as you put it,
showed it, yeah.
Jared's not a cheater.
850.
I was
no.
staring
Only-
right at the screen and I didn't.
Only
see
one
that.
person in this Zoom call would cheat, but Jared with a guess of 850. Gonna put him
I feel like you're
to 4 points.
miscounting because it's one of my brothers and one of your brothers that would cheat.
I don't think Kev
Steven,
cheats.
cheater.
I don't think he cheats.
He did admit to looking up the units.
You- all
Kevin
your
100%
When
admitted.
you're admitting to looking it up, like a new one.
Oh yeah.
I think
Well, it was
that's
20,000.
different, honestly. Yeah. It sure didn't help him. Anyway,
No, that's true.
Jared,
Anyway, no,
4
Jared
points.
didn't cheat. We're good.
Steve.
I'm just gonna
2
say
points.
this guy missed the boat. He should have asked 1984 for it. That would be funny.
It would be. Probably wouldn't sell though.
Oh, it's not selling at 1,200.
It actually did sell. It sold.
Oh,
No way.
Yeah, they negotiated.
Steve at
Yeah.
second place with 2 points. Trevor, third place, 1 point. Dad, Kev, still 0 points, believe it or not.
That's
But,
ridiculous.
Fourth place.
next listing.
Somebody's got to be the loser.
Well, don't count yourself out yet. This next one is going to be, our last listing. And Jared, you may not know this. The rest of you hopefully should, but the last listing is both the price and the location. And the closer you get, the more points you get. If you get within a couple miles, I'll probably give you 1,000 points. If you state right, I'll probably give you 1 point. So it's really all up to me. But this is a pretty cool property here. This property is 330 acres. It's got multiple caves, creeks, springs, pastures, and a hardwood forest. It comes with an interior trail system and over 7,400 feet of road frontage. One of the caves has a gushing spring flowing from it, and it blows cold air. There's about 4,200 feet of waterfront on creeks alongside the pasture, and this is the perfect setting for grazing livestock, horses, or even your dream home. It's really a cool property. Now, a couple things I want to point out here. Power line through it. Okay. Power lines. Yeah. Nice road. Very green. Everything's very green. You could see here this little waterfall frozen. That might give you some slight.
That's beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful property. If I had enough money to buy this and pay some property taxes, I probably would.
How much do you think you would need, James?
You know? Trev, why don't you tell me price, not location, price. And I'll tell you how I feel about that, or if I would buy it for that. Trev?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
I'm just saying, guess the price.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I don't know, $850,000.
$850.
Solid guess.
This is so hard. 330 acres.
Is there any more information you would like about it?
Yeah, there's a lot of information
Where's it?
like about it. The problem is where is the most important, and you can't tell us.
Exactly.
It does have a power line. You sure that's not a zip line?
I'm pretty sure it's a power line.
Dude, what a zip line.
Like, do you know, have they had any agriculture? Have they had crops there? Have they grazed it? You know anything about that?
It doesn't seem like it.
You don't
Have they
to
had
know
a
the
tornado
elevation, do you?
lately?
It doesn't seem like it. No trees are falling over.
True.
All right. But it must get cold for a frozen spring or waterfall or whatever.
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do that when it's hot.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. Boy. I'm gonna come in a little higher. God, I guess I'm gonna come in a little higher than Trev. I'm coming at $1 million.
Million. Cool, Kev?
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million.
1.2.
Man, Kevin.
Jared, what do you think?
Just say 1.1.
Well, I was thinking like 1.15. You know.
Yeah, go for it.
Just try to be difficult there, but I'll stick to it.
1.15?
Yeah.
Okay. Very range, but I respect it. Dad, what do you think?
I believe it's over 1.2 million.
That means
So,
1.2
like,
million and $1.
1.2 million and $3.
What the?
Well,
Uncle Kev, just say
you
two
got a
million.
little bit of room, Kev.
Kevin,
I didn't
he gave
just
you
totally
room.
screw you.
Say
Like,
2 million.
You meant to say thank you.
Well, I know exactly where it's at, so beat that.
Okay, Kev, why don't you tell us?
What's that?
Wait, doesn't your dad go first?
Well, we're gonna.
Is there more guesses?
It's James's show, Steve. It's James's
I'm
show.
not telling you
I'm
yet.
sorry to question that. I'm so sorry.
Kev?
I'm not telling you yet. I'll tell you later.
Well,
It's your turn,
guess, bro.
Well, I'm not going to give it away.
It's your turn.
You have to guess.
For what? The location?
Yeah, the location. The location.
It's in southeast western Kentucky.
Hey, I like it. Southeast Western Kentucky. So I take that as slightly southwest of Central.
Eastern Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle
For
Steve,
sure where it's at.
what do you think?
I don't think Uncle Kevin's right on that.
You don't know.
No, I don't know. It's true. I'm going with Minnesota. I would like the entire state, please.
The entire state. You don't want to even try to be more specific?
Yes, I do actually. I would like
Wait,
to
is that
be
top
in.
right picture like a glacier or is that like a rock?
That's a cave.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go with
change
the
it to Alaska.
Eastern.
Don't say Kentucky.
No. I want to say. Oh no, I'm definitely staying in Minnesota, but like northeast Minnesota.
Northeast.
She couldn't be further from the actual.
Trev?
But I'm pretty close to the Great Lakes.
Shit. Is that something I should have thought about?
No. Definitely no.
Trev, what do you think?
What was Uncle Kevin's guess? Like South Kentucky somewhere?
Southeastern, northwestern.
Southeast, western Kentucky.
Okay. I'm gonna go just northern Alabama.
Northern.
You always say northern Alabama.
Yeah,
It
by the
worked
way,
out last week.
I haven't reviewed the tapes yet, but looking at the score sheet that Dad sent me and knowing the listing, you were definitely cheating for sure.
What?
No, I'm not. This isn't a conversation. You were definitely cheating. Dad?
Oh no. Trevor cheating? No.
No.
I'm also
I'm-
redacting your win from last week. Just
Oh
I didn't
dang.
know last week. I didn't know
Got
last
retracted,
week.
fool.
Dad, what do you think?
I'm gonna go into northern Wisconsin
Northern Wisconsin.
because
be
Jason's
in
from
Oregon.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
To be more specific, like
You know, Dad, I'll stop you there.
okay,
Don't worry about it.
I'm asking
Jared?
Jason for Wisconsin town names.
Jared, what do you think? Don't guess Wisconsin.
Colorado.
Colorado. Where's
That's
That's
actually
a
a really
solid
great
guess. I think location wise, Jared just won.
That
You
looks
think?
like Rocky Mountain water. Damn it.
Even if it ain't Colorado, he's gonna be close.
Jared, where do you think it is in Colorado?
Northeastern.
Northeastern. Well, I'll tell you first of all, it's not in Wisconsin. Not in
shit.
Colorado.
Nice. Come on.
Not in Minnesota.
What did I say, James?
You said
Kentucky.
southeastern
Kentucky.
western Kentucky.
Come on, Kentucky.
I'll tell you, it's definitely not in Alabama.
Yes.
It's not
Kentucky.
quite in southeastern western Kentucky or Kentucky, but it is in Tennessee.
Oh,
And
is that close to
it's
Kentucky?
Could be
6
either one.
mil. So Dad is going to get the price, 1 point for the price, with
And he cheated on that.
$2 million and $3.
Damn
I did
it.
not cheat. I
I
played the
should have
game
said
like Kevin.
1.24.
And I will tell you again, I can't really show anything on my phone.
That's okay.
Um,
Are you using a
That's
big pen
got to
to
be
measure
close
the
to
distance?
Kentucky.
This is well, I don't even think I have to because Iron City, Tennessee is in what I would probably call
Kentucky.
I would call it southwestern East Tennessee.
Damn it.
And therefore Alabama, northern Alabama is definitely closer than southeast west, north, south, whatever Kentucky. So Trevor, I'm going to give you.
Man,
I'm
that's
going to give
right
you
on.
0 points because you cheated.
Nice.
like a motherfucker
You
last
can give him a whole point. It's not going to change the outcome.
Yeah, he cheated. I like that, James. Stick to your guns, buddy.
Yeah.
What?
Out of principle, you're going to get
Yes.
0 points.
What a brother.
Actually,
That's just
I'm
me.
going to
That just messed
take
up.
away
Good
his
job,
point
James.
that he got earlier because, I mean, that was just, it was too obvious. Like, if you're going to cheat, Don't be that obvious.
On this one?
On the last one, not this one.
Like
Yeah,
it is
this
just
one too. Let's just
order.
assume he cheated on this one.
You ever heard of the boy who cried wolf, Trev?
No.
That's you.
It's a parallel.
Anyways,
Hey guys,
That is
you got to behave now. Jason's here.
Oh,
Oh,
Jason.
God.
well, Jason, you came just in time. We're wrapping up the episode, and our guest, Jared Britsky, with 4 points, won the episode.
We can
Second
we can
place.
start over. Do it again with Jason.
Yeah. Second place, Uncle Steve. Third place, Dad, 1 point. Trevor and Cal tied for last place with 0 points.
Dang.
Honestly, quite embarrassing for both
Oh,
of you.
but Jay, they tied with you today.
Yeah, but I'm not even playing, Steve.
You get points when people are bad.
Well, yeah, but Jared did well.
Jared crushed it.
You did well.
That's
So
just because I remembered that one ad.
I wasn't
you
going to
did
say
pretty
it, but
good.
yeah,
That helped you a
for
lot.
sure.
It
But
counts.
I mean, it counts. Good memory.
It counts.
Because Dad saw it and he goes, "Oh shit, I saw it. He didn't remember." So fair game. Jared wins the episode with 4 points. Dad, can we lock in a guaranteed GSI 25 1 free T-shirt? Jared,
Who's got their television on? Jason?
I think it's Jason. You tell me what sizes you need, Jared, and I'll figure it out. We'll get some for the
we only
kids.
guarantee
too, and
one
Bobby.
free
Or
T-shirt.
no, well, I'm going to give one to Bobby because I like her better, anyways. But,
Okay. Two
I
then.
mean, because I like their whole family. But
Okay.
There
Well,
you go.
Jared, thanks for coming on.
Congrats, Jared.
Thanks for inviting me.
Good job, Jared.
definitely,
Coming hot
Jared.
tonight.
Definitely
Appreciate
it's
you being
rare for a
being with
guest
us.
win. It was impressive.
Kyle Brock won last week, right? Didn't he?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
I'm asking
I wasn't here.
the dudes that were here. I think
You're right,
Kyle,
bud.
our guest, won last week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, but Jared, seriously, thank you for coming on, for giving us your time tonight, and please. I think he meant good humans because God and
No, they're
human
God
can't be the
humans.
same. Well, but
I like it.
I don't think that works.
It's like a demigod,
Tell
like
Bobby
in
that.
Moana.
Either way,
That
it's a
you're-
really nice
Tell
thing
Bobby
to
that
say.
you're good humans, or that I like her better. Oh,
Yeah, but she knows you like her better.
okay.
That goes without saying.
Okay, good. So, but seriously, thank you for being a part of this whole deal, for pulling and supporting everything, and look
Yeah,
forward to
man.
seeing you more this summer.
Yep. Plan is to be out there this year. So,
See you in Tulare in 2 weeks.
yes, sir.
Cool.
I'll be there.
Cool. Very good. Well, I think Jason will play our go out video, and then we all give a thumbs up or something. But we'll hang out. We'll talk here for a minute afterwards, and then Jay, thanks for putting together the game. Appreciate it. So,
thank you.
Good job, James.
Today. Let's talk about today.
Compare national, state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
Is 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her in the registration booth.
Just this ever evolving story.